Hey everybody, welcome to Indy After Dark. I was over at Conspiracy Music Stream for a while, listening to some great music, and had an opportunity to go live and wrangled some people to come up here with me, and just wanted to have a place for us to get together and talk. I feel like there's been a little bit less live streams of just panels to come and chit chat, so kind of hoping for that tonight. Um, Thank you to Virginia and Bonnie and Bran for being up here with me. And I haven't
Thank you, Indy.
seen the chat yet, but I saw there's some people hanging out in there. So thank you to everybody who's here. So let's go through, I guess, and just kind of see who's here tonight. I know Dux is always like one of the first people to get here and to leave a comment always. She's so supportive of everybody. Thank you, Dux. Appreciate you being here.
Man, no excuse.
Garrett. Is that the Golden Knights? What is that? I don't know. Sportsing talk about something. I don't know. Glad you're here to hear it.
Yeah, I think there's some sports things going on there for sure.
That or bands of some kind if it's Garrett. Hey, Silver Girl. Glad you're here. Good to see
Golden
you.
Knights are NHL, aren't they? Vegas team.
Yeah, is that? I thought there's a team called the Nuggets that won something. I'm so out of touch with sports, you guys. I really am. Like, I mean, it's always kind of been on the fringes for me anyway, but now it's just off my radar.
15.
If any of you have information to share, go for it.
Right.
The cat, good to see you.
Hockey.
Hockey, okay. All right.
What's up, Mayhem? I see you.
Special day. All right. Change is happening. I like that. Hey, Van. Good to see you as well. Thanks for coming over.
Robert
Right.
PNW, whereabouts in the PNW?
Good to see you, Shane. Doug. Good to see you too.
What's up, Doug?
No apple tonight for me. Was I a little too late? Sorry, Doug. Hey, Mayhem. Everybody's picking on me for being late. Love it. Good to see everybody. Oh, I like that, Decat. Reflecting on what blessings we have. Mm-hmm.
He's always good at that.
Right.
Hey, Dank. How are you doing? Jerry Lee, always good to see you. 15th, I didn't bug you because I bugged you last time, but I would definitely love it if you want to come up and hang out and play at all or share any of your videos. Always, always. Hey, Mr. B. Good to see you. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Got to get some sleep sometime.
Right.
Hope 16th cooperates with you there, 15th. Hey, Watchman. Good to see you too. Tony, how's it going?
Tony.
Robert, I always love seeing you, Robert, because I just like seeing other people who are over in our neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Few and far between.
Yeah. Hey, Sharon. Good to see you, sis. Yeah, I haven't heard very many stories yet from the meetup. Have you? Have you, V? Oh, we will
Yes,
probably.
I saw a few, few quick videos, the gift exchange one, and then a few people did videos when they got home. I'm hoping and praying that someone does a slideshow, like a picture slideshow.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe we can get on like Nikki or Sophia or something. Jerry, I agree about sports. That's right, Dink. Thanks, Doug. Pushover. Nah, thanks for the apple. Thanks, Dux. Yeah, I hung out at Nikki's live stream for a little bit, so I heard a little bit from her and Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like everybody had an amazing time, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, lots of Washingtonians in here tonight. People in the Pacific Northwest, they love it.
Huh. There sure is. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, it's great. Hey, Anti, glad you're here. Keep an eye out for shenanigans.
Y'all are the only ones still wide awake.
Yeah, us in Hawaii. Yeah. Yeah. Have a good night, 15th, if you're still lurking.
Oh, good night, 15.
Aw, thanks, Van. See? Van gets a gold star or a golden apple or something like that.
I like the
Late
gold
mayhem.
star.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Van life, were you like the teacher's pet? Or were you one of the like rebels? It's a good question for everybody. I bet we could like call it out and figure it out.
That's really
Mhm. Oh, that's great news, Doug. Congratulations. Proud grandpa. He says, much love and respect, Indy. Just got home from baseball practice again. Both grandsons made all-stars. That's awesome.
yeah.
Awesome.
Called it.
The question is, what were you expelled for? That's
Yeah.
what we all want to
And
know.
definitely would have called that as well, Mayhem.
Yes.
Love it. Yeah, I think our community draws a lot of rebellious types, people who didn't always, you know, toe the line.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
the
great.
system, that's why we're here.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably like our main uniting force or something.
Yep.
Foamy, good to see you. Nah. Model B plus student. Nice.
Hmm.
Oh, nice. Good keeping an eye out.
Yeah.
No shenanigans.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. That is awesome, Doug.
So whereabouts is Bran located? Bran, I don't want to, you don't have to say exactly, but like just whereabouts.
Close to Detroit, but on the other side.
Okay. All right. So we have this amalgam of people, and I think I've seen in chat some of this concept come up a little bit, but what do you think it is that has funneled us all together? You've got Brand here from somewhere in Michigan. You've got Bonnie
Canada,
from
Ontario.
Ontario. Bonnie's in Texas. Some of us west, some south, but there is an amalgam, and there is an underlying current of thought, just in general. But sometimes I wonder, like, there are wide ranges of beliefs religiously, politically, philosophically, flat around earth, fucking
Yeah.
what happened to DB Cooper, like name it, right? A wide range of, you could debate forever and have a good time with it. What do you think the common thread is? Hey, Devil Dog.
I mean, I think a lot of people in our community are asking questions and open to hearing different answers and not feeling like we have them all already.
Mhm.
So even though we might not agree on everything, we agree that we don't know everything.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. We're all curious, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel it.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that the draw is just mostly we're all like-minded. We're all spiritually in tune in one way or another.
Mhm.
And I think we're all just trying to reach the same goal with as much information as we can get as to what's coming or
Mhm.
how to
Yeah.
just be ready for whatever they throw at us next.
Hey,
Mhm.
D-Dog. Good to see you. Happy belated birthday, Mayhem. Yeah, maybe that's part of it too, that, we're willing to put things aside that aren't as important because we know there's bigger issues at play. Or at least I hope so. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Something bigger.
Yeah,
yeah,
Doug,
Van.
oh, go ahead,
I'm
Bonnie.
sorry. I just saw an article today talking about the soaring food prices, um, and the shortages and just
Mm-hmm.
crazy stuff like that. So it's good that most everybody preps for any
Mm-hmm.
disaster. Growing, growing stuff is good.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. I have a couple things going, a few things going this year. Just little containers, but at least something.
Right.
Not like D-Dog. If you guys have seen D-Dog's garden, oh my goodness. He shares it on
Oh,
a couple panel he's been up
yeah,
on. It's amazing.
yeah, he does it on a massive scale.
Yeah.
D-Dog's a rock star. I have watched some of his videos, and
Mm-hmm.
he is a rock star.
I like that silver girl. Yeah, I like when we get to see people we don't always see in the same circles. It's like, oh, good. Get to check in, know everybody's all right. Keep an eye.
Yes,
Yeah, I like that
and
too.
with the way D Dog's
Oh,
doing
did I
it,
miss?
you get a group of about 6 people, and you can do that.
Mm-hmm. Wingnut, if you're
That are
here, I
actually
missed you, but hello. Go ahead,
my
Bonnie.
little girl. If everybody's willing and able to, I mean, everyone can do something once they get to the canning or
Mm-hmm.
able to.
Yeah, I agree, Van. I think we're still right at the beginning, really, of everything. I mean, when it comes to inflation and like like the direction things are going to go, I think
Mhm.
we're still living a pretty good life right now. So let's use our time wisely.
Enjoy. Yes,
Hmm.
most definitely.
Perfect timing, V. Hey, Ultimaga, good to see you. I've been appreciating the videos I've caught that you've posted. Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Assembly, that's a good one.
Ed, good to see you.
What's up, Garrett?
Flag Earth, is that another one? I'm just kidding. I saw you meant flat.
Let's not even go there. I don't know. We don't have
Hmm.
time today.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's also true, Van. I think there are a lot of people that are going to start feeling it more and more here pretty soon. Hopefully, we can be rallying together to help people where we can,
Mhm.
because I
Well,
think
that's
it's going to be like shift for different people at different times. That's what I think.
you read my
Yes.
mind exactly. It's different times and reasons for different people, and
Hmm.
just kind of the mindset of being prepared in a general way is, I think, regardless of bipartisan politics and all of that, your everyday person can agree on, yeah, things look a little sketchy. Maybe I
Hmm.
should be prepared this way or that way. You see great
Wow.
migrations. You see people switching jobs and changing lifestyles and doing a lot that, you know, sometimes well, I know I do, bitch and complain, well, what kind of change is going on or whatever, but there is something to be said for the everyday person dismantling their lifestyle to gain toward a more independent goal, and we
Mm-hmm.
might find them on either aisle. Like I feel like
Yes.
we need to welcome anyone with an open mind and be like, yes, excellent, wake up, let's go.
Yep.
But I still feel
Absolutely.
like there's
Hey,
a
Ghost.
stigma of pushing people out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. That's kind of where my name came from,
Mhm.
really, is that I think, they're trying to put us in these categories, whether it's politics or religion or gender or
Yep.
socioeconomic or race or I mean they're all of them, right? But really, I think there's a lot more that unites us than divides us if we
Mhm.
let the things go that we can let go.
Agreed.
Doug, enjoy your dinner. Biscuits and gravy sounds amazing.
Yeah, the way you're talking about different areas experiencing different things at different times.
Hmm.
So with the border,
Mhm.
I think that's why, because I mean, throughout all of this, we have not seen shortages like all the
Awesome
other
mayhem.
states did. And now it seems the more people coming in, now I'm starting to see a lot more of the
See?
shortages on housing. I'm seeing more people move in together so they can afford to keep a house,
Hmm.
whether it's family or friends or whatever.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
prices
Ghost,
going
good
up.
to see you, Ghost. Thanks for being here. And Jeep, you too.
Mhm.
How's housing by you guys? Because here it's actually going down, but that's because ours has been so high. I mean, it's still high. It's just going down a little.
I'm not seeing ours go down any. Um, and
Hmm.
that's the thing is the people coming in that, well,
Good night, Ultimaga. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Anti's
most of
amazing.
them
Thank
have a
you,
pay.
Anti.
If they're shipped to a blue state, they get pretty much anything they want. Um, it's not so much so here. So they're buddying up in one house altogether.
Hmm.
It's nothing to send 10 people to a home.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in our area, I've noticed a lot, working in the schools is where I see it the most, but I see a lot of multifamily homes now where people are, multiple generations are living together out of necessity. Not,
Mhm.
necessarily a cultural thing. It's a financial financial thing,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know?
Hello.
Hmm.
Who's that that came in? I can't see the name.
Oh, that's Mayhem.
Hey, Mayhem.
Mayhem.
Hi.
Mayhem, where are you driving tonight?
I'm not driving anywhere tonight. I'm
Oh, I thought.
stopped for the night.
Oh,
I am
okay.
in the state of confusion.
Perfect.
Oh.
I mean, state of Nebraska.
Buzzacino.
Same
I
difference, right?
always love when you're here. Buzzacino leaves like poetry and deep thoughts and comments. It's fantastic. He also has a great
Yes.
channel.
I've taken screenshots of some of them
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah. Okay.
Working.
permission to share.
To ground yourself is to find your path, for without the path the spirit flies free, and we must learn to walk before we can fly, lest we fly blindly away from our destiny. Love it.
Yep.
That reminds me of grounding. I need to go out barefoot more often. I keep meaning to like do that intentionally, and I keep not doing it.
Mm, getting yourself grounded, right?
Mm-hmm. What? Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
What line?
What's talking about you guys? It's not talking about me. I'm not beautiful.
Yes, everyone's beautiful.
Interesting thoughts here, Watt. As soon as you are born, you're given a name, a religion, a nationality, and a race. You spend the rest of your life defining and defending a fictional identity. Maybe the
Well,
division starts right at the beginning, huh?
As soon as they give you that
A
number.
bold claim, Van.
Yeah. That reminds me of something I saw on Facebook, a video, and I thought it was pretty neat. There was a guy who was talking about your passport, your social, and your EIN, your employment identification number, when you apply for a LLC, are all 9 digits. And what he said is he created a LLC in his own name, and whenever they ask for his social, he gives them his EIN. So he builds his business credit.
Interesting. D-Dog says, if you let anyone label you, shame on you. The only label I will accept is liberty activist. I like that. TZ, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Mr. Bobby. Hey. Yeah, I agree.
You know the funniest thing I saw today?
Besides
that?
me.
Some guy with the black and white jail suit in the poster board in front of the black SUV at the courthouse. I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about. And the
Feel you,
Secret
Mr.
Service started moving him over out of the way, and when the police got him down, one of the men standing there grabbed his red hat off of his head and just kind of smacked him with it.
Damn.
I guess you have to see it. It was pretty funny.
I missed it, Bonnie. Can you say? I'm sorry. I was looking at chat and I missed what you said. I guess I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
She can't do 2 things at once.
I know.
Yeah, and
Apparently.
chewing gum. So that's yeah.
I heard it and then I'm sorry. I'd go back, but I can't.
When they were, I don't know if they were going to the courthouse or leaving the courthouse, but so the black SUV's in a line, and somehow the guy knew which one he was in, and he went in front of it with his poster board, and he was dressed in a black and white striped jail suit, the old prison uniform, I guess,
Yeah.
whatever. And so Secret Service got him off real quick, and then when the police were getting him, I think they had him handcuffed and stood him up. And one of the men standing there with a MAGA hat on took it off and smacked him across the face with it.
Oh, that's what I missed. I heard all of it except the punchline. There we go. It was the MAGA hat slap that I missed.
Yeah, the literal punchline.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, that is pretty funny. What were they protesting? What were they supposed to be like?
Well, I guess he was an anti-Trump person.
Well, I guess so, if you got smacked up upside the head with the MAGA hat. Huh, I wonder.
Yeah.
All right. Buzz says, if your brain is ingrained from the gravy train, then refrain and retrain and relieve your pain to remain truly sane. Gotta find your lane to the plane where you gain freedom, break the chain.
Word.
Love it. Mm-hmm.
I think Positino is an AI.
He's like the base AI. He's
Yeah.
the one that's like finally become cognizant and is like rebelling.
Yeah, you forgot about the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it is going to keep getting worse. Hey, Charlie. Loved seeing you up on panel earlier tonight. And Charlie has just started doing his own live streams too, which have been, it's been great. So
Fantastic.
go sub up Charlie if you're not already and try to catch him live.
Yeah. Sorry, I posted a live tonight and then ended up with my granddaughter, and it's like, okay, switch to tomorrow night. And I'm so glad you went on, Indy, because gives everyone a place to hang out. And
Yeah.
of course, Clay was on too, and Mr. Smith. It was Mr. Smith's channel that I was at.
Yeah, I missed him playing tonight. I came in, I think, after he'd already come down from panel, but I think there were a couple people I might have missed earlier on the stream, but what I saw of it was great. Hey, Lady Campion. Speaking of
Yes.
amazing, talented singers and musicians. Good to see you, Songbird.
Your voice is awesome.
Yep.
Thank you, Jerry Lee.
Okay. When we are young, we don't know the importance of learning life over reality. For life is what we perceive it to be, whereas reality is what they tell us it is. Ooh, okay. Life versus reality. Yeah. Buzzacino, are you published? Do you have a book of your poems and thoughts? Just curious. Sip, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Oh, a fun day at the hospital. I don't know about that. It seems like a contradiction.
Mm.
Whatever's going on, I hope things go well, Sip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think there are a lot more of us real Americans out here.
Yeah. I do too. I believe in a silent majority. Like, there are some of us who bitch out loud and think about different solutions and talk about what we're doing and whatever, right? But most people don't. You know, you talk to your family members or around the dinner table or call your aunt or dad or nephew or friend from whatever, and they believe the same things, but they're not sitting out here like we are, kind of connecting and being like, what the hell is going on, you know?
Yeah.
So
or what do we do about it?
Or what do we, well, I think it's just more silent. Like, I really believe in a silent majority. Like, if I talk to my dad, for example, everything we talk about, we basically agree, but he's not out shouting it from the rooftops, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just different approaches. But I think that silent majority would come out of the woodwork like you've never seen a termite infestation.
I hope so.
Right?
But what's going to be that's why I think they're not going to do something that's one big thing. I mean, eventually, probably. But I think they're going to pick away at us with small shift situations for different people at different times for as long as they can.
Chip away.
Mm-hmm. Until they do something to make us turn on each other, and then we'll pick each other off that way. I mean, really, it's like, it's pretty bleak, you guys. Like, but this is just how the direction I see things going. I mean, you know, God's will be done. I have faith that if God has another plan, then that will happen. You know?
And I believe that is what they're trying to do, is pit everyone against each other. That's why they're pushing all this craziness that they know everyone is not okay with. And that's the thing, is just, like you said, talking to the family, talking to your neighbors, talking to your community, and just
that's awesome, Jeep.
making
Congratulations. He's got to
That's
be
how you stand against it, is
yeah.
one community at a time,
Mm-hmm. No, I
Yeah, but
totally
where you
agree.
live.
if you actually sit back and you look at everything that is so divisive, though, they divide us on everything.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
The list
Yes.
just goes on and on. They divide us in religion. They divide us in, black versus white. They divide us in anti-vax and pro-vax. They divide us in gay, anti-gay, abortion, everything. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, is sometimes you just have to find those barriers to break through. Because I have some friends on Facebook that are leftists, and we have some good, interesting, good conversations sometimes,
Good.
and we
Yeah.
find the common ground, and we're
Mhm.
like, okay, hey, we found something we can agree on.
Mm-hmm. Hey, DS, good to see you. The link is pinned if anybody wants to come up, by the way. Um, yeah, especially, I know Lady Campion, if you wanted to come up and sing at all or play a video, or any musicians that are out there, that'd be great
What's
if
up,
you
Doc
want to
Mac?
join in. Oh, Doc Mac.
Doc
Haven't
to
gotten
the
there yet.
motherfucking Mac. That's my friend right
The
there.
Mac is back.
Oh my goodness, I love the Mac.
I'm missing some stuff in chat. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're
And
kind of
I'm
behind in chat.
I know. I always am.
I'm really hoping that
Hey,
the
Mr. Bill. I
doctors,
didn't see that.
the medical community that has walked out of the protocols that have been demanded of them, that they start building a new medical system for people, because I'm seeing, like, we had a really good doctor, and a hospital system bought out all of our little surrounding area medical, and so they're all quitting and moving to another area
Mm.
so they don't have to follow the protocols. And
Hey,
just,
Axiom.
I don't know if he's a real doc, but y'all mentioning that, I was like, yeah, that's something else I'm seeing too, is lack of medical people that don't keep trying to push other things.
Mhm.
Much love, Silver Girl. Glad you're here.
Most of them are
Ooh,
sellouts, Bonnie. They sell
nice,
out
Buzz.
big pharma.
Hmm.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
another area where they're divided too.
Mhm.
Scientifically, scientists are divided. Medical
Yes.
professions are divided.
So, do you think that they're actually divided because of the science and their beliefs, or are they divided because they're bought and paid for and sold out and not?
Politically motivated is where
Mm-hmm.
they're divided.
I think they're given skewed materials to gain data from. So they're given skewed studies and information and whatever, so that they'll just easily sign off. Plus, the incentive doesn't hurt. And you know what I mean? It's a little bit of a combo of blind following and submissive greed.
Good to see you, Von Eric.
Hey, for facts, Ridge Runner, I see you. But I think they just kind of
Mm,
ignore some of the
exactly, D-Dog.
implications, and they've done that for years with various medications. They'll
Mm-hmm.
they'll just kind of go with the peer-reviewed literature
Show
that
me.
they are exposed to. They'll say, okay, well, it looks pretty good. And of course, it takes years to show that it isn't. You know what I mean? But by that time, billions have
Yes.
been made. And I think it was the same thing with this. I think that a lot of them did go just for the greed factor, but I think a lot of them were misinformed from the start with bullshit. Trust the science. Here's what we've got. Not tested, not backed up, not
Hmm.
validated. Nothing. Let's all do this biological experiment together. Meet you there
Mm-hmm.
for entertainment
Yeah.
purposes only.
Right.
I'm
Entertainment.
glad you brought up
Sip,
glad you brought
thank
up
you for filling.
medication, Virginia.
Hold on one second, Mayhem. I
Okay.
just wanted to say, Sip, thank you for filling us in, and I'll be keeping you in my prayers. I'm glad you seem to have a positive attitude about what's going on. And Doc Mac, I got to you. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. All right, sorry, Mayhem. Go ahead.
Oh, you're okay. I'm glad that Virginia brought up medications. You ever listen to the side effects of some of these medications?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, anal leakage. Well, I'd rather have sore throat than anal leakage. I'm okay.
Or thoughts of
Yes,
suicide, or yeah, sterilization, or I
Yeah.
mean, it goes on and on. And then we wonder why, suicides are on the rise and mental health is on the decline. And, I think the
Hmm.
medications have a huge part to play in that, whether they're being, and then if they're being abused as well.
Yeah.
and have
Yep.
you
I mean,
noticed that some of the medications are like changing colors? And I just saw a it was a news clip actually. This man was up there and he had some kind of cancer and he's been going in for chemo, and they're having to hold off now on his treatment because they're running short on chemo. And but guess who's going to save the day? China.
Hmm.
So we should trust that because it's they're not making any threats against us or anything like that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Doug said 20 years of meds, nothing except Advil now for 4 years. Despise going to doctors anymore. And
Mhm.
I'll tell you, when I was going to PTSD awareness group at my local VA, I had a buddy that I met there. He was taking like 20 different medications,
Mhm.
and he was like, "How many do you take?" And I said, "I take none." And he said, "How
Mm-hmm.
do you do that?" And I gave him all different kinds of herbs and spices and stuff like that, and he went from like 20 down to taking 2.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yes, there are a lot of natural ways out there.
Yeah. Ed, glad he's there. Thanks for connecting us on there. Tennessee Ridge Runner, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I'm off all prescription medications. And the ones that I was on were for blood pressure, and my blood pressure has been better than it's been since before I started taking any medication, which was probably 15 years ago. So there you go.
Hmm.
It's a racket.
It's a racket. I mean, I think that's a huge part of the whole um, push on our children right now to do different things to modify themselves and to get hooked on prescription medications and in the system as early as they can do it.
Yep.
But I mean, we really are already there. I mean, the vaccine schedule for schools is ridiculous. I mean, the amount I had no idea. I mean, before like 3 years ago, I didn't even question the vaccine schedule. It was like, oh, that's just what you get. That's to make sure everybody's safe and protected. you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And now it's like, oh my God, like looking at how many more chemicals they're shooting into people at young ages and how many more there are than there were just, a handful of years back. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Hell no. I just got
Well,
a letter the other day from this state, and maybe you and I could talk about it privately, Indy, like some of what everything means. But fuck no.
Mm-hmm.
I no. We can just leave it there. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
It's infuriating.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have no idea what that letter's about, obviously, and I would love to talk to you about that behind the scenes.
Yeah,
But
we'll
it
talk
made
about it
me,
privately.
yeah, what it made me think of, which I think I brought up before, and I haven't really heard a lot of parents talking about, is that on the vaccine schedule, I think they've added, I know that they've added the COVID vaccines as a what's the word I'm looking for? Not a requirement. I don't think it's necessarily a requirement, but I think that it's
Mhm.
like the expectation. It's part of the regular
Yeah,
vaccine
it's
schedule.
in the list.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes. So
yeah,
my understanding is if you don't want to get it, you now have to apply, which in the past, before COVID, if you ever didn't want a vaccine, for your kids, it was literally fill out a form and it would be approved. I don't think anybody ever had it denied. But my feeling is that what they're going to do is deny people entry to schools if they don't get it, and that it'll be a real issue. That's a way they'll do
yeah,
another push,
yeah,
you know, and they'll
yeah,
probably do some, and then that just made me think too, they'll probably do some kind of new test, round of testing where I don't know if they did this by you guys at all recently. Probably not, because Seattle is one of the worst areas as far as like how long it took for them to lift restrictions and things.
yeah.
But they were still testing. They would do like a week where everybody had to be tested, or like a day where, like in Seattle schools or other districts nearby, they would give everybody a day off, and that day they were expected to go and test, and then within a week they talk about how there was a new influx of all these new positives
Right.
for COVID, and it's like, yeah, you think?
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
like,
I was- I wonder how.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And
I'm sure we'll see more of those shenanigans as things move forward.
someone said something about allergies
Nicer
in
German.
children. I saw something on TikTok. It
Hey,
was
Justin.
it was about the red 40 dye and all that
Hmm.
causes children to have ADHD, allergies, a rise in autism, stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's in a lot of these
Hmm.
snacks that are targeted towards children. You need
Yeah.
to really look into.
I've heard from some
Yeah.
friends in the UK that a lot of our snacks are now being pushed over there, or like are starting to show up over there. Like Laffy Taffy was one that was mentioned, but I've heard actually about several now, and they're starting off in like kind of convenience stores and gas stations. But over there, they have different food guidelines, and so they have to put these like huge labels on over our American labels that are like the cancer labels on
Mhm.
cigarettes. It's like all these Surgeon General type, warnings about the horrible effects of the things in the foods. And
Mm,
here, we don't have those warnings. You know what I mean? They're just poisoning us and without
Well,
telling us.
actually, if you look at your bread, Indy, there's something in California called Proposition 65,
Mhm.
and that's nationwide. So if you buy a toy on Amazon, if you look at the details of the toy, it is required to say if it's made of chemicals that cause cancer or whatever. So, like, if you look at a package of Fran's bread, F as in
Hang on,
Frank,
Wolf.
RAN as in Nancy, Z as in zebra, Fran's bread.
Mhm.
You turn it around, you look at the back toward the bottom, it's going to say California Proposition 65. This product contains chemicals that are known in the state of California to cause cancer and whatever. Now, if you look at a package of Oro wheat, and I
Hey,
know this
Libby.
because,
Sorry. Hey, Libby. Thanks for coming by.
oh,
Keep
good
going.
night, Libby. Yeah, so if you look at other breads, like you just have to look at each one, and because it doesn't have to be prominent on the package, you can find it on various products, not just bread, but various products. Um,
Mhm.
Bread is the easiest example because it's an everyday staple for people, but like I buy Oro wheat. Ever since I learned that and saw it, I was like, crap. So I started looking at other bread and I buy like Oro wheat, home style bread for my son for his peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But if you look at the back of Fran's products, and
Mhm.
it's from California, but it's nationwide, that's anywhere in the country, it'll say California Prop 65. Now I'm Japanese, so I make like sushi and shit. My seaweed that I buy that comes from other countries, some of it has on the back California Prop 65. This product may contain things that cause cancer or, you know, carcinogens.
So
So
it's good. So the label's there for that, but we need to know to look for it.
you have to know to
Yeah.
look for it. Yes.
That's
And
like
there are certain
bio.
local measures. Like that thing about the California thing, that was a local measure that ended up being, you find it on all products now. And it was just California that made that happen. So yeah, look for those. And
Yeah.
others might be more elusive, but you get the idea.
Yep. Yeah, I know bioengineered food ingredients is a new thing that's being put on labels too.
Right,
And it's not good. We're
right.
avoiding that as, you know, and that's showing up, but that's showing up everywhere. I mean, it's in tons of foods, processed foods. I
Yeah.
liked Lady Campion's comment here. She said doctors don't know enough about medication side effects or interactions either, or about the effects of coming off of those medications. And I know in my experience for myself, but also for close family members, that's definitely been the case. A
Mhm.
lot. I mean, that's part of, I'd say that was like one of my first like red pills in life, was like understanding that doctors didn't know the interactions of different medications, because I watched them have so many trial and error periods with my parents and you know, their health and how it affected them. So, yeah. And like TZ said, also a lot of doctors get money from drug makers to push medications. Yeah. Or to make diagnoses. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Diagnosis.
Yes.
Diagnosis. Diagnosis.
Something like that.
Diagnoses.
Yeah, diagnoses, thank you. And
Yeah.
Clay, I just said something like that. Dang it. I notice whenever I do. That's a Clayism.
They
Yeah, that's
more or
good,
less
Doug.
just go by what they're told. They don't have time to research every possible
Right.
contraindication of every single
Yep.
side of what they're doing. They get a basic checklist of, if this, don't do that. If this, maybe you see what happens. You know, that's why they call it practicing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm being dead serious.
Yeah,
Like they
absolutely.
they throw darts at the wall, and many of them are incentivized, like several people have said in chat. You know,
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of my favorite comedian. Well, I haven't listened to him in a while, but it's Brian Regan, and he was talking about medications, and he's like, look at the pretty butterfly. What if it don't? No, no, look at the pretty butterfly.
mhm.
Hey,
Yeah,
Moose. Good to see you. The link is pinned if anybody wants to come and join us. Pinned at the top of the chat.
Hey, Chuck.
Yeah.
what's up, Chuck?
Yeah, Van, I've been doing, not the last couple weeks, but before that, I've been doing keto and, you know, just kind of extremely low carb, which means a lot more meat. And I've been feeling really good. I'm getting back on it soon. It's just been crazy with the end of the school year, and it's just been nuts. So we kind of fell off the wagon a little bit. But yeah, I I've heard a lot of people talking about like heavier meat diets and doing really well with it.
See, that's what got me back my strength. And but they keep saying
Yeah.
less meat, and
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even listen to them anymore because I know steak worked for me, and I'm sticking to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good night, Doc Mac.
Yeah,
If you're still
boy.
here.
Yeah, Doc.
Right.
Okay,
I
beetroot and cinnamon, huh? All right, D-Dog.
yeah,
Good to know.
I try to, if you can, try to avoid the supermarket meat if you can
Yeah.
get like
Yes.
a
Uh,
local farmer.
yep.
That's what I do.
Good night, DS. Good to see you. Yeah, so I have not done any research into this, but someone who I trust who does know a lot told me about a glue, like an edible glue they're using on
Mhm.
meat. Do you
Mhm.
know about this, Mayhem?
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
to like it's like to take pieces of meat and make it look like other cuts, but
Yeah.
you can like tell from the seam and like the grain of the meat. So you can look in the
Mhm.
stores and kind of see it, but it's apparently it's not it's something that's not labeled right now. It's just
Yeah.
there.
No, it's not. And that's um they do it in a lot of the the steaks. They
Mm-hmm.
really put it in a lot of the steaks that you'll buy in the supermarket.
Yeah. Hey, Bran, I'm sorry I missed you going down, but thank you so much for coming up and hanging out. And I always appreciate you being here with me, with us.
Yes. Good
Have a
night,
good night.
Bram.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Anti, for all the links you're dropping. I appreciate it.
Prayers for you, Sip. I love the chat. When we started talking about that, they were given some natural remedies, and
Mm-hmm.
my high school friend, we were just talking, and of course, we're all
Good
trying
night,
to get
Ed.
off of prescription drugs. And so she was asking me for high blood pressure. And so I'm sitting here taking screenshots of the chat. Thank y'all so
Right.
much.
Yeah.
So I can share that with her because the high
Mm-hmm.
blood pressure I wasn't sure of.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Axiom. He said, I remember in the early 90s, most of the state of Washington state were on antidepressants. Coincidentally, that's where grunge came from about the same time.
Right.
Yeah. That's when everybody was being diagnosed with ADD and ADHD
Yeah.
too, and being put on all those
Yes.
medications in the 90s.
Well,
Oh my
you
goodness.
could definitely tell that they changed the medication because emo doesn't exist anymore that much.
Isn't that what they all? I mean, isn't that everyone now? I think it just expanded.
Yeah, it took a now it went from being all dark and gloomy emo
Yeah.
to like, oh, I got weird looking hair and I like wearing this kind of makeup, and it went from dark to bright. Now that's what happened.
Neons. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Pastels. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of good information in chat. Thank you, everybody.
Hmm?
Yes.
High blood pressure is from sugar, not salt. See, well, that makes sense too, because I mean, doing keto, like I don't really eat sugar, so that could be why my blood pressure's been so great too.
Good.
Hmm. Yeah, we're all about the no drama. That's another thing that unites our community, or at least the vast majority of us.
Right.
I'm not naming names. I'm just saying. Yeah, absolutely, TZ. I completely agree. Don't let your child take that coof poison because that's exactly what it is. And I can't even. I think people are going to keep their heads buried only if not for other reasons, only because they won't be able to face what they did to their kids.
Hmm.
D
You know,
Dog, good to see you.
what's funny? I saw somebody the other day. I
I
swear
do
they were
that.
riding a bike
Hi,
in
Sip.
open air the other day in Arkansas, of all places,
Yankee.
and they were wearing a mask. They were by themselves, wearing a mask, riding a bike.
Mm-hmm.
You know
And I'm,
what? Um, that can almost be explained right now. um, with the smoke coming from Canada and the smoke coming from Mexico that comes every year.
Hey,
The,
Carissa. Good to see
mm,
you here.
I don't I don't know if y'all
Sorry.
been getting the air quality warnings, but we have. And so that's people who have any kind of lung problems or anything. I'm like telling them, I know y'all are against masks, but try a mask and see if that'll help.
Yeah.
A
Very common.
painter's mask or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
TZ says schools get money for attendance on a daily basis. A child doesn't attend and the schools don't get money. I don't know if it's true everywhere, TZ, but in Washington, that's not totally true. There's a certain date, and I can't remember when it is, but it's in October, where D Dog, I see your hand is up. That like
Uh,
automatically makes me want to call on you. Go
the
ahead.
the the first Tuesday of October and the first Tuesday of February.
Okay. So they basically take the count from those days. So teachers in public schools were taught to like basically give incentives for kids to be there that day. I mean, even parents wouldn't even necessarily know there was an incentive, but it'd be like a movie day or some spirit day or something that would like get people invested in coming that day so that they'd have their numbers up. Another interesting thing, at least here in Washington, is that they did some kind of the union did something where they were able to get it where they were able to count the numbers of pre-COVID students as their count instead of post-COVID, because so many people had been pulled out of schools because of COVID. But it wasn't at the point they did it. This was just a few months. I mean, maybe it was the beginning of the school year, but I don't think it was even that far back the decision was made. But it was basically the funding's going to continue based on pre-COVID numbers, because so many people have pulled their kids out of public schools. And it's not, obviously, it's not for COVID reasons anymore. You know, it's because of all of the wokeness being shoved down people's throats.
Yes.
But, you know, homeschooling is, and people putting their kids in private schools are on the rise, which I think they're also working at making probably illegal some point in time, but I think that's a ways out.
Right.
Anyway, just wanted to clarify that a little bit. D-Dog, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Well, I got a little bit blessed kind of by accident. My daughter was going down the road, and a state trooper was like right on her ass, and she sped up, and then he gave her a ticket. So the journey on this has gotten me the body cam footage and the footage from the car. You know, so he was traveling at an unsafe distance from, you know, my daughter's truck, which led me to the point of filing for discovery of the last 30 days worth of tickets and citations and warnings that the two cops that were in the car gave. And I've been in communication with a lot of those people, and they're filling out affidavits and everything else, and it's going to get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to show the corruption. It's going to go all the way up to Gretchen Hitler.
Awesome.
Yeah, good, good. I love what you're doing, D-Dog. D-Dog's like the secret superhero we all hope for. Really.
Well, that's why I always drop that little quote from Miller Fillmore, The 13th President. It states, "May God save the country because it's evident that the people will not."
Yeah, I saw that quote. I like that.
Yep, and that's
I mean,
that's
I
from
like
like
it, but
1850s.
yeah. I mean, I would never have thought that would be true. I mean, to some extent, I wouldn't have thought that was true. I would think more people would be standing up already, I guess. But
No, it takes
see.
a shot glass.
yeah. Yep. Yeah, Jerry Lee, I know. I feel like it's kind of unavoidable, but, you know, we got to do what we can to limit it, to detox from it.
I did see Texas is fighting for parents to have rights of
Corn pop.
school choice for their children.
Yeah. I do. Yeah, I think a lot of people have stood up. Maybe not in my area as much as in others, but yeah.
Well, did you see one of the latest things coming out of the Supreme Court?
Hey, Chuck.
That the states are required to retract any law having to do with concealed carry.
No.
Really? So is that, because I heard something about this, but honestly, I just haven't had a chance to dive into it too much. And I think you maybe had shared a link once that I grabbed, but I haven't watched about that. So yeah, what can you tell us? Is that's already going through? I mean, that's a done deal, or that's like in the works?
It's a done deal. It's an opinion of the Supreme Court, and everyone can ignore that. And you would understand that, you know, for whoever actually reads the Constitution will understand that. But, you know, we're going to see some of the red states are going to just, you know, it'd be nice to go all the way back to pre-1968, where you bought a wireless peacekeeping device, for your freedom seeds.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no numbers on it,
Yeah.
because the only way I get mine with no numbers on it is because I have to go direct through the manufacturer.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
So what they're doing with the concealed carry is trying to get it to where no one can do a concealed carry. Is that
No,
the?
no,
Oh,
no. You have your freedom to do what you want.
Mhm.
oh.
They're-
Well, that's good.
Yeah, they're saying this right here. This is my pocket constitution right here. That's your
Nice.
concealed
Hey, does
carry
that look
right there.
anything like this one?
Yeah.
I, I agree.
Hey, I need one of those.
I agree, Techno, and it's good to
Did
see
you
you.
get
Thanks
one of
for being
these
here.
with it?
No, I didn't get one of those with it. I actually got it from this group called the Arkansas Patriots Coalition.
Mm-hmm.
They gave it to me.
Good call, Jerry
Wow.
Lee.
Yep. Tell them they need to get this.
Here's back up
500
here.
year lead.
Hold on, let me put you on big screen for a
Yeah.
second here, D-Dog.
Yeah, go bring it back.
Show us
There
here.
you go. The 5,000-year leap, the making of America study guide. Oh, nice.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes with.
I like that book in the back, Fart Zone.
I like that that's the one that's
Making of
prominently
America.
on display.
See that little book
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
and this?
Oh, okay.
Now,
That's another little book.
Yeah, just a little book.
And to
Few
graduate
pages.
elementary school, you had to complete this. And what year is that?
1828.
Sweet.
can you believe that?
And then you get a huge Constitution thing, and this thing is like freaking huge. And to accompany it, I recommend this book.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that one.
I've heard good things
Yeah,
about
but
that.
Yeah.
it's one of the few that has everything in it, the Federalist and Anti-Federalist papers.
Yeah.
And to find the true place where the Constitution came from, it's in this book.
Yeah, I really want to get
Founder's
that.
Bible. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh yeah, D-Dog, are you still? Well, I'll message you. I'll message you about that Founder's Bible.
That's good.
What, you need the link for that?
No, I'll message you. But thank you.
I was going to
Whatever.
say,
It's just because I want to stalk you. Leave me alone.
someone gave me that. It's like a PDF, that Bible.
It's probably D-Dog. Doug, what does this mean? The Cookie Monster shrunk too?
Oh, that was a while ago. I don't know what that meant.
I know. I'm still so far back. Abe, good to see you if you're
Yeah.
still here.
You're way. You're
I
like
know. I'm going to try to go forward. I
way
don't want to
up
miss all
there.
the
We're all the way down
conversation.
here.
You
Okay,
know,
everybody stop talking for a second so she can catch up.
Good night, Sip. 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
D-Dog just
Yep.
shared a link in the private chat.
Yeah, in a regular chat, I just dropped the link for that study guide, and I dropped it in private chat for us up on panel.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, price is only $70. Take you about 6 months to go through it all.
Wow.
Yes. But if anybody knows Dee, she is, well, I think she's taking a break with family right now, but she's been going through that with us. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey, Beaver Valley. Thank you for coming by. Good to see you.
Good night, Libby.
Good night, Libby. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that, Robert.
Van life's
I'm
out too.
really having a battle with my daughter about homeschooling my granddaughter. I'm
Mm-hmm.
begging her to let me, and
If you need any information or help with that, let me know.
anything you can give me, I would love it, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm the crazy mom, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know how that goes. Techno. Yeah, the school that I've been at has been amazing. I can say it's a really small school, which is a part of it. Um, but I think there are some private and even charter schools out there that are okay. I just think you have to really look into what they're doing, and they have to be completely open
Yes,
about it. If they're not open, then that's not a school you should have your kids in my opinion.
Mm-mm.
If you have to, if they're skirting around what they're teaching in any way, shape, or form, why would you want your kids there?
Yeah, I mean, let's go back to the basics: reading, writing, or arithmetic.
Right.
yes.
We don't we
Hey,
don't
call
need all
Yankee.
this other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting, Beaver Valley. You said her grades went down since she's been doing homeschool. My first thought when I hear that is that maybe she's being held to a higher standard, or that she's possibly not just getting, kind of shifted through. A lot of times in public schools, they teach kids how to take the tests. They call it teaching to the test, but they literally teach them how to like
Yes.
basically get higher points and in a way cheat the test. And
Mm.
that could be part of it as well. Just some
Yeah,
ideas.
it's a
Yeah,
neat
and
one.
Hillsdale College does have a K through 12 curriculum.
Yeah. Barefoot, Dana,
Yes.
so good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yes, ma'am.
Always, we were
Yeah.
just talking about when people kind of you don't see for a while pop their heads in, and it's like, oh, good, you're okay. Dana, you're one of those people that whenever I see you, I'm like, yeah, Dana, I love you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why they were trying to uh, get kids back into schools.
Hmm.
Because a lot of kids during COVID actually succeeded. They got better grades being homeschooled, and they were like, "Oh, we can't have that. We have to indoctrinate them with
Hmm.
our BS." Come, come.
Hey, Mike, good to see you. Glad you're here too.
You know, and that's the weird thing about it. My cousin in Alaska,
Woot.
um, because they have a hard time getting to school a lot of the times during the winter because the snow's so deep or whatever. And so the state pays them, they get them the computer, they get them whatever they need, the books, everything to learn at home. And they also pay money for them to do that. You know, you keep hearing the money should follow the child. And
Mm.
Mm.
so it sounded from what she was describing that there it actually was. I don't know if it's still that way. Her kids have been graduated for several years now, but
Yeah.
All in all, they're just another brick in the
The
wall.
wall.
Yeah. Right.
Hey,
yeah.
teacher, leave them kids alone.
Yeah,
Yeah. Roger Waters seems to be pretty based from what I'm hearing.
they're all
Uh,
sellouts, man.
yeah, yeah, I know. I try every once in a while to like,
You wipe
maybe,
your ass with
maybe.
money. That's it.
Yeah, that's awesome, Ridge Runner, to hear. He says, I've been standing up and red pilling a lot. Got several who ask me questions daily, and I've got God on one side and Jesus Christ on the other. Yeah, I'm glad there's people asking questions. I've experienced that a little bit. hopefully, hopefully that'll keep coming. And that's like we were talking about earlier, one of the biggest things I think we can do is try to reach across the aisle,
Mhm.
as much as possible. Thanks, Techno. Yeah. Yep. Hi,
Dude,
Muir. Good to see you here.
Hey, Huck.
Alice.
your icon for his pot. Wait a minute, I saw that. Yeah.
Lucky. Good to see you.
I'm confused. There's two of them.
Yeah,
Hmm.
You can't steal mine.
the garden of earthly delight. I love that. Man,
I
I could say
tell you who I
anything.
miss. I miss Dusty Data.
Yeah. Has anybody heard from him?
I
He
see
did
him
a
on
short
Facebook all the
recently.
time.
Did he? Good. Okay. I haven't seen him in forever. I'll have to go to his channel and
No,
see what I missed.
he talked for a hot minute. He did a short recently. Other than that, have not seen him anywhere. But Dusty, if you're out there in the ether listening, man, we love
Right?
you. I hope you pop up and say hi
Yeah.
somewhere. You are loved,
Mm-hmm.
man. Bring it.
Yeah, because every time Dusty was in the chat, I had to do this. You can't get me. You can't get me. You can't get me. You
Yeah,
can't get me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because
yeah,
sooner or later you would have a one of those
right.
where they're singing.
Yeah. Oh, I miss him. He did some
I miss him
hilarious
too.
shit. So I hope you're well,
Mm-hmm.
Dusty. We love you.
You know who I saw pop up like not that long ago was 1A.
Oh,
Um, yeah, it
yeah.
was really good to see him too.
I love possums.
Mm-hmm.
They eat shit.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sorry, some memories. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay, salt pills, huh?
Oh, goodness.
Van, have a good night. Thanks for being here. I think I'm getting closer to catching up. Sorry, guys.
You're slowly getting there.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm trying.
Yeah, I only said
Abe,
like
good
Van
night.
was going to bed 10 minutes ago. But
Yeah, I guessed I was about 10 minutes behind. I'm getting there.
no, it's not. It wasn't that long. It wasn't that long. It was like a couple minutes ago.
Abe is an amazing musician, you guys. If you're not subbed, I know I keep pushing people's channels, but that's kind of what I do. But Abe, the band, is amazing. Go check out his channel for real. And Abe, thank you for being here. And yeah, if you ever want to come up on panel, I would love to talk with you, but also hear you play. Yeah, Lucky Dame has an amazing channel. I think is it Sundays, Lucky, that you do your live streams?
Sunday
But
socials.
yeah, Sunday socials.
It's feeling social.
I'm always glad when I catch them. A lot of great information, a lot of, good community, and a lot of
Oh,
people in chat giving out info.
Yep.
Hoot Owl, you're never invisible. I see you.
Oh, Hoot.
Yeah,
said
I'm not at
that.
that comment, but I don't think you're ever invisible, Hoot.
No.
Yeah.
Good night, ducks. Thank you for being here. Always appreciate you.
Oh, I saw you, Hoot.
Mhm.
I Hoot. Now let's
Hey,
all just
Indy,
talk
And thank
about Hoot.
you,
Indy,
Eniac Jack and Kino, for dropping the links. Much
Indy, I
appreciated.
found a picture of my governor.
Oh yeah,
Oh, no.
I have a feeling it's.
Oh, wait. What is it?
Hold on. I gotta put you on solo here.
Oh, wow. Heil. Oh,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, really, that could be a picture of our governor too, here in Washington.
Oh, my goodness.
He's on his way out, but that just makes me nervous about whoever they have ready to come in. Thanks, Ducks.
I'm happy with my governor.
That's great.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Hmm.
I'm kind of yes and no.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Mine is a sellout piece of shit. Fucking, I would
Yep.
rather deal with a corn-infested turd than fucking Jay Inslee.
Yeah, he's
Now,
a
would
piece
that
of
be
work.
with peanuts?
That you with peanut. I heard peanuts.
Thank
Yeah,
you for the
w-
update, Dana.
yeah, that corn turd you're talking about, would that have peanuts and bean sprouts in it too?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay.
Like kidney beans, and you haven't had chili in a year. Yeah.
That's good to hear,
Yep.
Dana. I've thought about coming up there to teach, actually, Dana. It's one of the places at the top of my list. And I'm actually certified to teach English language learners, so that's part of the draw is that there's a, need for that up there.
Ooh, girl,
Mm-hmm.
I love your train of thought. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that later too. Like
Yeah.
Alaska is under discussed.
Virginia, let's start a commune.
I'm telling you, man, people disregard the frontier, but
Mm-hmm.
there are some merits.
Yeah, techno, I agree completely. Yep, absolutely, Virginia. I know. That's why it's it's at the top of our list.
Yeah,
We'll see.
yeah, we'll talk later. We'll talk later.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hey, KP. Thanks for being here. I feel like I said hi to you at the beginning, but maybe not. Maybe that was in another chat, KP. I run into people all over the place, I can't tell.
We all need to take our states
Yeah.
back.
Yep.
No. Hoot said Alaska is still like its own country. Well, that's
Good
not
night, Yankee.
surprising because most young Americans think Alaska is a country.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm moving out of the United States and I'm going to Alaska.
It's our biggest state. If you look at it, if you ask people, they'll be like, "Oh, Texas is the biggest state." Nope. You lay Alaska over the top of the.
Yes,
I
Alaska
should have
is
timed it.
bigger.
Alaska is
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then I was looking up some stats, and oh my gosh, when it was what is the most dangerous state, right?
Most dangerous state.
Yeah, most dangerous state
Let us
for
all
like
guess.
homicide.
Do you know the answer?
Do you know the answer?
No, I'm saying let us all guess.
Okay.
But do you know the answer?
Yes, well,
Okay, so based on
according
what
according to these polls.
Okay. Dangerous
Okay,
based on what?
let me give you a hint. Okay,
Okay.
the stats are 1 in 100,000 per capita murders.
Okay. Okay. Any other insights? So it's
We were
per
just
capita
talking about the
murder
state.
is the main thing. Per capita
Yeah.
murder in a given.
We were just talking about the state.
Oh shit.
Alaska?
Yep, they say
There's
Alaska.
Whoa,
There's no way.
because
With
no
that,
way.
keep that in mind. I said 1 in 100,000 per capita homicides, murders.
Okay.
There's only 177,000 people that
Awesome, Dana.
live in Alaska.
Right.
So if you look at those numbers by what they say it's the most dangerous state because one person was murdered there. And I was like, wait a minute. Do people not know how to do math?
Right. Well, again, the per capita thing is a thing, but
Yeah.
like, okay, all right. So, fuck, man, I feel like if you're talking about murder like that, I feel like Alaska shouldn't even be in the equation because there are extenuating circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the next one? Give
Here were
us
some of the guesses: California, Illinois, New Orleans,
Yeah, you would think
Washington.
Illinois would be.
Washington State or DC tech.
like naturally you would think it would be the bigger states, with millions of population, California, New York.
I like
The
it,
Yeah.
Buzz.
biggest would actually be Illinois because of Chicago. Like
Chicago and Detroit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Chicago, Detroit.
I can't remember exactly,
Magic.
but I can't remember exactly, but I know New Hampshire was up in the top 5.
Huh.
I know that. And I was like, wait a minute, you're taking the states with the smallest population. You're calculating it
Yeah.
per 100,000 when like Alaska doesn't even barely even can constitute that
Right.
because
Mhm.
they have 177,000 population.
Right.
So one murder
I
puts
did,
them at the top.
right.
One murder. One.
I did
That,
look at the city stats. And so the number one most dangerous city was Houston, Texas.
What?
Yeah. And then San Antonio was like number 5 in that
Okay.
list. They had 10 cities. And I was like, yep, here we go. We've done beat out Detroit and all of them. Chicago, Houston.
Wow.
yeah, and
I know
then
Houston's bad.
there's also another map out there that the left has been using that says that uh the red states that have looser gun laws have more homicides.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to push that too. Yes.
That's not true.
Yeah. No,
That's-
but then when you look at the stats that they're
Yeah.
using, the 33,000, 65% of that is actually suicides.
Oh. Huh. A lot
Yeah,
of death.
so yeah, like it is they're relying on ignorant people not to really do their research and actually use an equation to actually find out what the truth is.
Right.
Yeah, I've
Well, and
actually had people tell me that it is not a mathematical equation. And I said, yeah, you do have to do math to figure out what they're talking about.
I like what Foamy said. The most dangerous state is your state of mind to even believe those statistics.
there you go.
Yep.
Well, Mayhem, they're probably using Common Core math, so whatever answer they come up with is correct.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
That's not how Common Core math works.
Yeah, well, it kind of is when it's no child left behind.
Well,
Yep.
that's true. That
got
is
it.
true. Yep. You got me there, B. Yeah.
Well,
Just,
yeah,
just like the,
Moose said that there's now 732,000, but the stats that I was looking at, that was back like 3 years ago.
Hmm.
It was different. It was the population was, I think it was in 2018 was when I looked at it.
Right, Techno? There's lies, damn lies, and statistics.
So I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people are moving to Alaska now.
SeaTac
Yes.
Washington was listed as a dangerous city too. They only have 25,000 people. It's not a dangerous city.
Mhm.
I actually think that a lot of the things that are going on are done by paid actors.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you, girl. 100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so what do you mean by paid actors? Will you clarify that?
Like, okay, one of them that happened in Texas at a mall
Good night, Doug.
Uh,
Thank you for being here. Love ya.
up above Dallas was the most recent one that I looked into. And then I started seeing pictures of the criminal I don't know what we can say. And when he was laying there and they did a close up of his hand and he had a tattoo, and I think even the news said it, that he was a branch off a gang of the MS-13. So
Hmm.
kind of like a suicide deal,
Hmm.
but he benefited.
Yeah. I know some people think there's like crisis actors, you know what I mean, who are paid to go in and basically, act out that something's happening, such as, for example, people think of that with like Sandy Hook or with,
Yes,
what am I thinking of?
you
Columbine.
valid.
Yeah, all of those
Yeah,
events. Those,
all,
and that's part of what makes it a false flag. Okay,
yeah.
but before, like, I didn't realize when people said that they meant literal paid actors, but sometimes I think people don't. I think they mean, like, there are people who are paid, for example, at the Chop and the Chaz in Seattle. I think there were people that were paid to be there,
Mhm.
not as actors, but paid to be there as activists for their cause, but they're paid so that it might not even be something they feel that strongly about, but they're paid to be there. And I
Right.
think that also happens at some of those events. Hey, Hawk, good to see you. Thanks for coming up.
Hey, I'm only here for a minute.
Yeah,
I just wanted to talk about the No Child Left Behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that people should understand where that came from. You know, when Barack said that no child be left behind, he was talking about Hillary Clinton in Haiti,
Okay.
that no child would be left behind. They'll take them all.
Mhm.
Right.
And this whole entire Obamacare was
Yeah,
based
thank you,
upon
TZ.
exactly that type of mentality. Because once you were signed up for it, you know, uh, even if you're a pregnant woman going in to see your uh, what do you call them, the before the baby's born. Um, Not the gynecologist, obstetrician, I
Oh,
think it is.
Mhm.
Is that what it is?
OBGYN.
Okay. Yeah. So you go in, you see this person, and they're monitoring the baby the whole time, right? They
Yeah.
do testing and everything else, monitoring the baby, so they know what the baby's blood type is. They know everything all the way down the line. If the baby's going to be born perfectly healthy, and all that, you know. So we really need to look at how the medical field uh, is uh, what they're doing with your information. You know who it's going to and why it's
Mhm.
going. You know, and this is something that was talked about in one of the trafficking conversations a couple of days ago. Um, at least 75% of all children who are trafficked, okay, have been monitored for a year or more.
yes.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So babies go missing, young kids go missing, teenagers go missing. They've been monitored for a year or more. That's where, a lot of like these apps and things like that that the kids use and stuff like that can actually create, more trouble than it's, more trouble than it's
Mhm.
worth. But yeah, I just thought that that's where that No Child Left Behind came from. You know, is literally countries where vast amounts. And it was kind of peculiar that Trump would and he did it jokingly in front of a crowd, but he looked right at Hillary and and talked about the No Child Left Behind, because she left no child behind in Haiti. She took them all.
All right.
You know, and the thing was, she turned white as a ghost, but the bishop who was sitting next to her at this big gala that they were at, he looked at her like, oh, don't you worry, don't you worry. Well, you do need to worry. These are your children. And to know what they're doing with the information is vital as a parent. You just need to know. That's all. Hey,
No, I
D-Dog.
absolutely agree. Eddie,
Yeah.
thank you for coming up. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you as well.
Hey, Eddie.
Hey guys.
Yeah, I definitely think no matter where you have your kids being educated, even if it's even if it's homeschool, pay attention to the curriculum and what you're teaching.
Yeah.
You know?
And the reason that I said California in response to that question that Mayhem asked in regards to to the most violent state in the country, Gavin Newsom was up and running his pie hole about the numbers of deaths from gunshot. The only state that he didn't talk about was his own, and he's got the highest number.
Huh.
And this was the next part of that, though, was the fact that 90% of all the guns used to kill people in California are unregistered, unlicensed, and in most cases stolen weapons.
Right. So the regulations won't help with any of that anyway.
Yeah, legal people, it's see, I like D-Dog's, method there, go directly to the manufacturer, don't even have a serial number put on it, basically it's like a ghost gun. It doesn't exist. But these guys are, out there throwing all these numbers and everything out and just promoting more fear, because they don't want you looking into the Constitution. They don't want you looking into the Second Amendment. They don't want you looking into your Bill of Rights, everything all the way down the line, So, and with that, I'll shut up.
Well, everyone knows the Second Amendment is not for hunting, right?
Right.
No, that's for protecting our country.
No, it's for keeping a tyrannical government in check.
Well, yeah, protecting our country, because, if they're trying to destroy our country, they're not American.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I mean, it even says it in the Declaration of Independence that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government.
Yeah, but it's not just our right, but it's also our duty.
Mm-hmm. TZ, hold on one second. TZ, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a good night.
So what wasn't there a case regarding Madeleine McCann in England? Like she ended up turning up, like she was after being kidnapped and stuff like that. Like
I remember hearing about her case, but I mean, I think we just see it happening all over the place now. I mean, it's like all the other crime, though. It's just on the rise. It's like it's overwhelming to even think about. I think people tune it out.
Yeah.
Too often.
Yeah, it's so, like, I mean, that they kind of throw it under the rug type of thing. Like they like, and like, I mean, they should, like.
Hey, I know who this is. I'm not going to say. Sorry, Eddie. I'm sorry. Hang on one second. Good to see you. I won't share your name unless you share who you are, but I'm glad you're here.
I said hello.
I know who it is.
You are, or maybe.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Sorry, Eddie. Keep going.
Yeah, they were that instead of throwing her under the rug, they should like bring it to light a little bit more, I think. I don't
Yeah.
know if anyone agrees with that, but that's how I feel about it.
No, I don't, yeah.
So what Axiom is saying, am I getting that right? I don't know. Article 1, Section 8 made the Declaration of Independence illegal.
I don't
No,
know about that.
no,
I saw that comment in there.
Yeah. Oh, that's not all he said.
Here, there it
That
is.
when the Second Amendment was written, it was written for the 6% of the wealthiest Americans, for and by them.
like what? Why would this Declaration of Independence be illegal? That
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me.
I think there was a third one too. Where's the third one at?
Queen
Yeah, there's
Opossum,
another.
we need to reconnect here because I've gotta talk to you. But I saw a good friend of ours from Scotland recently, and I'm hoping you're in touch with him too.
Here's the third one. What he just read from the Declaration is called an insurrection, covered in Article 1, Section 8. Oh, okay.
I'm looking at it now.
The Constitution was written because of an uprising by the Revolutionary War vets who get their lands taken by the government.
Well, after the last 3 years, I'm done fixing people.
Yeah. You think?
I'm serious. I'm done fixing people.
There we go. All right, Hura, it's good to see you. I missed you, girl. give me a call sometime or text me or whatever, so we can reconnect. Axiom, it says that your devices are not connected, so there's something you've got to either your speaker or your camera. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh, Axiom. Oh, I think you're muted. All right, well, join in when you can. It just says that your mic is muted. Moose, you're cracking me up. Yeah, Bonnie, you're still planning to live stream tomorrow, right? You just moved it?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I just heard from her, and it's
Okay.
neuropathy,
Yeah, no problem.
whatever
Axiom.
that is.
Neuropathy? Whoa.
Yes.
So, damn, you're in a state that you can't use it. Dang nabbit.
I know.
If you got any of Dee's salve, just put that on the
Yes.
bottom. Put that on the bottom of her feet.
Okay.
Not kidding. You put it on the bottom of the feet, and then you tell her to put it on every single day. Do it for at least 30 days, and she'll find that the neuropathy, 80-90% of it will be gone. You might get a flare up every once in a while, but it's see, if you were in my state, I would give it to you, because I know how painful that is. I have a good friend, Bob. He was a Vietnam vet. He had severe jungle rot on his feet. Large swaths of his skin are completely gone off of his feet and everything else. And he came over to the grow one day, and he said to me that he had to take his shoes off. He says, my feet are hurting so bad just from driving, because it's he drove 190 miles to get to the farm. And that pressure on the back of the legs and everything creates, pressure points throughout the nervous system down the legs and everything. And so he took his shoes off, and about 5 minutes after he took his shoes off, his feet started swelling up like flipping like little watermelons, just like real fast. So I grabbed a jar of my salve, and I told him to put it on his feet. And about 5 minutes later, I come back in the room, and he's standing up. I was like, I thought your feet hurt. He's like, nope, they don't hurt anymore. And an hour later, the swelling was back down. I told him to take the jar of salve home with him. He called me 30 days later, and he says, I put it on every day and every morning as soon as I got up before I put my socks on. And he says it lasted the whole dang day. Yeah, he was just totally amazed. So yeah, I'm talking about a cannabis salve though, so I know some states it's not legal yet, or they don't have medical yet or anything else. The fact of the matter is in most cases, somebody knows somebody down the road who's got a couple of ounces. Make your own salve, throw it into a cup of olive oil in a crock pot, warm it up. Once it's, let the cannabis oils drain into the oil. So generally run it about 24 hours. And then you just mix in some beeswax. You don't even have to add any other essential oils or anything to it. Just let the plant do its job. That's what it was put on this planet for. It was put on here as a healer.
And
That's all
it's
I
in
had.
our hands too.
Let me get my glasses on before you take that comment away.
Oh, yeah, I'll go back to it. Somebody Hoot asked, what brand of St. John's wort? Is there a certain brand that you guys use, for those of you who were talking about that? And Dana said, last fall I had a friend of my daughter's give me some RSO. The seizures have gotten better since I did the 10 vials.
Yeah, okay. So I've gotten to the point now where I do a quarter gram of RSO. Basically, it's a dot the size of a half a grain of rice. As long as I'm doing that at least 15 days out of the month, I'll go the entire month without any seizures. And yes, it does help with pain, as well. But it's if I do it daily, and I do it for like 90 days in a row, I can go like 60 days without taking one, and not have a seizure in that process. So,
Yeah.
hey, Him, are you driving?
Nope.
What's up there, beautiful puppy? Look at it.
Oh,
Out for the camera. Oh, look
pretty
at
Yeah. Hold on. Let me pull you on full screen here.
Oh, look at that. Look at
Look at
that.
doggy.
Good-looking dog.
Aw, she is so cute.
Not
That's
you
just such
guys.
beautiful coloring.
I love that red on the back of her ears.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel gets that too because he's out in the
Oh,
sun.
Shiva.
So
She doesn't like being on the camp. She doesn't like it.
I love that she's camera shy. I just think that's so cute.
Camera shy.
come on, hide in your face.
yeah.
Hey.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Sure.
Angel.
You're
I
so pretty. We just want to
I
see
could
you.
pull out the flute and start playing it, and you watch her ears go straight up, and she'd be looking around for me. That was one of the things that she was, her and the other white one that I had in that litter. They would come running anytime I was playing the flute.
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
She's beautiful though.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like she's almost as big as Gabriel.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. She is a walking. She doesn't like the attention. You can see she doesn't like the attention.
Angel.
Angel.
Hey, are we on a speaker or are we on headphones?
No, you're on. You're going over speaker.
Okay.
Angel.
I'm surprised she didn't.
Angel.
Oh, my dogs were like, huh? What?
Yeah, let me.
Yeah, it's like no, I want to put my head down here. She's not a big fan. Of
She did the head tilt.
She knows who's talking to you now. Yeah, I would have been. I would like to see that.
laid down. She just went laid
She's
down.
so cute.
Yeah, yeah.
She's all white.
And
She's
I'll
got
tell you
red
what. Out of
ears
that
and-
entire litter, she was the quietest of that entire litter. She was not a noisemaker. She wasn't a screamer.
No. She was the firstborn, and she got the most time with the titty with her mama, and she
Don't
was
you know it?
so content. Oh
Yeah.
my God! And I got to tell you, with my son, if he is not physically next to my child, she loses her freaking mind. Like loses her mind if he's not able to get to him immediately. So like even if he's like in the house and she's outside with the just a screen door in the way, she loses her mind. The second they are together, it's all good. Like that is her life. Is
Mhm.
my boy is her freaking life.
Yeah. Now there's another one of my white pups, not too far away from you. Cindy got him.
Yeah, I just saw it the other day.
Did you?
We were on a live with Doc, and
Okay.
Doc always deletes his live, so
Oh,
it's not
I
anymore.
saw
But
that part. I saw
Yeah.
that
yes,
part.
we
Yeah.
met
That's
him.
great.
Mhm.
If you decide to breed, her, he would be the perfect male for her because he's a third separate cousin.
Oh, excellent.
So,
Just
and they both carry the recessive gene. So your entire litter would either be solid white or you'd have solid white and solid black.
oh my gosh.
So those are the only two colors that recessive will allow to put out.
Dude, you guys, she is so freaking, oh my gosh. She just does her thing. And like, I'll tell you what though, if a stranger comes up to the door, or if she doesn't know exactly what's going on, or if the garage door opens, even if it's someone that lives here and she doesn't know, her bark, her alarm system, I would not want to be on her bad side.
Mhm.
I tell people all the time, like, and all my family and people that know Angel, it's like, yeah, no, I do not want to be on her bad side. I don't want to be someone where she looks at you and goes, "You're a threat," because that bitch will fuck you up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The people
And
that she
females are more
loves,
protective. Females are more protective of property.
right?
Males are more protective of people.
Oh man, I don't know. Like with my son, I don't know if I've never
Oh
seen anything
well,
like it.
yeah,
Like,
that's her toy.
yeah, that's her. That's her. It's not. I mean, it's toy, but it's like that's her life.
Yeah.
Like every moment that she is awake, she has to know where he is. You know?
So there you go.
Uh-oh.
That's not even all. The only
Maybe.
one who didn't get up is Gabriel. He's like, hey, Gabriel, there's a hot blonde on the computer.
Well, with all that
Virginia, maybe
said,
she chose him. How, didn't you say that they do that? That they'll
What's that?
choose?
I
Maybe
say that
she
again.
chose her. Maybe Angel chose her son. Like they choose who
Well,
they're going to
okay.
be.
So when she came to get Angel, she wasn't sure she was getting Angel. She knew she was going to get a white pup, but
Yeah.
Angel was the one that went directly to her. You know, she was walking around her ankles like crazy, tail wagging, and everything else. It pick me up, pick me up, pick me up was pretty much her entire reaction. I think I actually still have the video of from in that building when Angel came up out of the cage and everything.
oh my
Um,
God, yeah.
yeah, it's yeah, I sit back and watch that because you really get to see the connection between the home that the dog's going to. You see that the pure joy in the person who's taking him home. And that's and you can tell the connection right there. But I knew as soon as you picked her that was going to end up being your boys. I knew that right off the bat because puppies will automatically go to the children, connect, remain solid, and the adult is just the feeder, and the scratcher.
Well, the original go was that when Ron died, it it was like, all right, I'm gonna get the first white pup. And when Ron died and the next litter came, the first pup was Angel, and she was white.
Yep.
And she was the only one with the mother for Lucy for about 3 or 4 hours.
Yep.
She,
Yep.
she was alone, and it was a very
Mhm.
small litter. And so it was like, okay, whichever white pup is born right after Ron dies is the one that's going to go. And that happened to Angel. And when
Oh,
I went, she was, I mean, God, even the whole ride home, all of it, like she was just ready to be there and relaxed and loved. I'm telling you, the connection with my son is something that I cannot explain. I
that's
just can't.
awesome.
Like it is her entire existence.
Yeah.
That is so
And,
sweet.
and
Lady
Lucy,
Champion, thank you so much for being here. Have a good night. I hope you get some good sleep.
yeah, Lucy's on a 600-acre farm now.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Lucy
down
is
in
just
yeah.
sweet.
She was retired. She had her third litter, and we retired her, and she went with a couple who were getting ready to have a baby down at the southern Oregon California border area. They just said that because she's really loud at nighttime. You know,
Yeah.
if you're outside, she'll wake somebody up to let somebody know that there's somebody outside. And they were like, they had people just coming through their property in the middle of the night, and they wanted to get a dog that would,
Oh,
that would do that. And
goodness.
like I said, in most cases, the female dogs, they not only do they attach to the children, but they attach to the land. It's like that's their perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that is their, that's the queen's castle. Whereas a male, even though they'll be very guarding of the property, they're not going to be as aggressive on the property part as if you were approaching one of the humans from the household. Then they become then that real aggression begins to show itself, and they in some cases they'll even show teeth. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends on the trainer though. Like I mean, like it's like I mean, I got like I mean, I can go either one way. Like depending on the trainer.
Mm-hmm.
well, it also depends on the breed as well.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah, because some dogs are just pure chicken shit. You know.
That would explain her. Come here.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, now
Aw.
you're her human. In all honesty, I think that she would protect you.
Oh yeah. Well, this whole thing is her domain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's even learned that when I am out of the truck and I had the window up, she's learned how to put the windows down and
Well,
lock me out. So I have
Yeah.
to carry my keys. And then he's a
Yep.
little shit. He's a little shit.
Aw.
Aw. He
Oh,
looks like he's a little
sweet.
shy too.
Yeah.
Daisy.
Oh, she's
Pretty.
cute.
Oh, oh, looking right at
What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?
I hear people in there.
Oh, what a sweet pup.
She's part German Shepherd, part Australian Shepherd. That's why she
That-
doesn't have a tail.
How
Yeah,
she
that's-
snuggled into you. That's how my last dog was. Like he would always come and lean in and like cuddle.
Mhm.
I love
yeah.
that.
Baron,
That dog
Baron
reminds
comes
me
up,
of my Australian friend's dog.
Baron
Mhm.
comes up to me and does that. But what he does is once he leans in and he knows that he has your attention, then the leg comes up where he just kind of holds it up in the air. I'm like, what are you
Mhm.
holding the leg up in the air for? And then I'll pet him and he'll like use his head to push my hand down right there in between his legs, front legs, and the leg will go up even higher. Yeah, that's the spot. That's the spot.
Yeah.
That's the spot.
Buzzachino, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of your comments and just you being here and participating.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good night. And
Right.
definitely let us know when you get published because I'm buying a copy.
That's a cool name.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah, he's
oh my
awesome.
gosh, when I go to lay down,
Medicated
you should see
coffee?
this guy. You should see what this guy does. He
Oh,
gets
probably
like
gets
he gets like right here.
Yeah.
and lays right here on my face, and I'm like, I'm trying to breathe.
Oh, let me read this real quick from Buzzacino. This is great. I feel you deep within my heart, as though we were one and not apart, as though we were walking on the same path. I've cried your tears, I've laughed your laugh. I've screamed at your pain, I wept at your joy, and swam in the river of love you deploy. I feel you forever, past all and the end. I love you, my brother, my sister, my friend. Oh, thank you for
Aw.
that, Buzzacino. That's
Aw.
beautiful.
That's
That
pretty
is
sweet.
beautiful.
Brings us full circle. We're all on the same path. Maybe that's what unites us.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I think in the end that's exactly what is going
Later.
to ignite us. Is I don't know how many times we can say this after watching everything that's gone, everything that's come forward in the last 2 years, that more and more people are waking up, and it's us being there to help them learn what they need to learn about what's going on.
Mhm.
That is going to be, that's your part of uniting, because you're taking the time, you're teaching them, and they're going to be indebted to you because of that. And that indebtedness is fulfilled when they pay it forward, and then the next person does, and then the next person does. I mean, the thing is, honestly, information is going to start coming out so fast now. The narrative is going to change almost daily. Instead of every couple of days, it's going to come to a point where it changes daily. And it's you know there's a saying called "trust the plan." The plan I believe in is God's plan. Um, and I know that his plan, his plans always work. I mean, look what he did for the Israelites coming out of Egypt. Look what he did for the Israelites when they marched around the walls of Jericho. Look at what he did with saving, giving the opportunity for every world person, to be able to stand in his presence because he was willing to sacrifice his child in order to give us that ability so that we're washed by the blood. So yeah, his plans are pretty awesome. It doesn't matter about a computer generated plan or a people plan. It boils down to his plan.
I agree with you completely on that. I keep coming back to, God's will be done and fear not. How many times God told us to not fear.
365 times. One for every day. And the thing is, if you read a certain amount of pages in the Bible every single day, you would see that passage every day for 365 days in a row.
Yeah. I like what Ridge Runner said here. I found the love for others, the friendships have grown stronger. Yeah. I think for myself, I can say I appreciate the people that I realized I really am that close with, the people that I am still have my six and that I have theirs, through all of this. Those relationships are definitely a lot stronger than ever. And the relationships that I thought were strong and that weren't, I mean, it's kind of good to know that too.
I know that, Jerry Lee. You know that, Jerry Lee. But I wasn't going to talk about that because people think we're nuts. Okay. And I just, I want to go one night without being nuts.
I don't think anybody who believes that is nuts. I just don't believe it fully myself.
Who look
people
at
on the outside.
Yeah, the people on the outside that are looking in are saying that we're nuts. So I'm not going to admit to anything.
Good night, Robert.
Neither confirm nor deny.
Have a good night, Robert. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. I always am glad to see you in chat and get to, connect and have a conversation. So thank you.
Check 1, 2. My mic working?
Yep.
Hello?
Now we can hear you, Axiom. Awesome. It's a little quiet. Let me see if I can turn it up on my end.
I can turn it up a little. I have it turned down.
Yeah, there we go. That's better.
Okay.
That's great.
How are y'all tonight?
Pretty good.
I'm terrible. Thanks for asking.
Oh,
I hope it gets better.
Teach you. would be the word.
Yeah.
Devil Dog, does that include Deuteronomy? Because that is a dense, long book. I'm just.
Oh, he's right though. It's 3 chapters of the Bible in a day. You will complete it in a year. I think it comes out to a year and a couple of days. Is you know?
They
But,
have Bibles that are actually that are published, that are written so that you can read through the Bible in a year and pull from different parts of the Bible. But it's written,
Right.
you know, kind of out of order so that you have your like a daily devotional almost, but
Yep,
it's just the
yep.
Bible. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, I like
that
those.
the
Those are
original
actually pretty cool.
problem?
What was that?
Isn't that the original problem? The restructuring, organizing, editing, and condensing of it so that we could do it more simply. You know.
Well, there's so there's a book out called Revelations. It's major. Hold on. Major, is it Major Events for Minor Prophets or something like that? It was put out by Melissa Redfield. You know, and now we have to understand that back when the Bible was first produced, it was never meant to be produced for general consumption, for everybody to have a Bible. Okay, it was originally printed for the churches, and the people would get the word from the church.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was meant for the simple man. It was
Yeah.
condensed for the simple public.
And in the 1600s, women were not even allowed to read the Bible.
Right.
So I mean, so look at how far we've come.
Yeah.
Because now today it's a totally different story. But
Women weren't even considered a person back then in America.
no, they were not. No, they were actually they were considered a commodity because of the bearing of fruit, children, and because of her labors in the home, So yeah, she was considered
Not
a
just in
commodity.
America too. I mean, that's why you don't hear a lot of women mentioned in the Bible.
No,
and if they are mentioned, they are whores or pariahs.
Not always.
Well, no,
Not
you got to
always,
think of the
but-
story of Esther. Esther was, was a friend to was a friend to the king, what was it? Well, it wasn't Malachi. It was maybe it was Malachi.
Well, Esther is a good example, and maybe Ruth, things like that. But for the most part, women.
Mordecai.
Mordecai. There you go. That's it. Mordecai. Yeah, Mordecai. And then there was Haman.
Mm-hmm.
And Haman was the one who was thrust upon his own petards. Basically, it was what you see the scene. Well, it's a what's his? I'm trying to think of who the king of the Philistines were at the time that David was a soldier under Saul. That king took and impaled people on spikes, no different than the story of Vlad the Impaler, kind of thing. And Haman had basically was going to have all the Jews executed on these things, and Mordecai said, "No, I don't think so. I think you and your family are going to go on them," and they did. They his kids were all hoisted up on them things too.
Mm-hmm. I really like what Hura said here. Fear is what they want from us. Fear is what they win, or is the way they win. God helps us understand that fear is a low vibration. Well said.
Yeah. Vibration, the operative word.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had made a comment earlier in regards to high blood pressure. High blood pressure is caused by sugar, not by salt, and that's very true. That in that statement. And the thing is the one thing that the heart does not need is fear. It doesn't need the low vibration. It needs a higher vibration so that it can actually fulfill its entire duty. It's, you notice when Christ talked to the woman at the well, he said to her, he says, we we just want your heart. Me and the Father, that's all we just want your heart. We don't want everything, all the bad memories and everything else. We just want your heart. We want you to love us and us to love you. And it made a lot of sense. But the heart is, it didn't mean that there wasn't going to be any more broken hearts, or that you wouldn't have, heartbreaking, situations and things like that. It just meant that you had somebody that you could turn to for that higher vibration for your heart.
Interesting.
Can I address the comments I made?
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah, of course.
Is the guy still in here that was?
No, he had to leave right as you came in. He had to go. That's a D-Dog who was in here that I was hoping you two could talk, but.
No.
But if whatever you wanted to say, go for it.
Well, I don't remember. I said three things. The Constitution was written specifically to take away the right to overthrow the government. That was one of the main factors in writing the Constitution and doing away with the Articles of Confederation. It's called Shays' Rebellion. A lot of Revolutionary War vets were promised to be paid, and you know how that goes. And they weren't paid for their time fighting in the Revolutionary War. When they got home, they owed all these back taxes to the people who had just funded the Revolutionary War that they had just won this whole country for. Excuse me?
No, the dog just pulled on the lever and lowered my chair all the way to the damn floor.
My grandson does that.
My dog does that. Gabriel, right here, pain in my butt.
But they had just fought a Revolutionary War to win the freedom for the people who were levying taxes against them 3 to 4 times higher than the king was. So they fought this in court for a few years and ended up losing. So they gathered up in a what it was called a yeomanry. And that's just where town folks get together with pitchforks, because they were disarmed after the Revolutionary War. All the veterans were disarmed, so they didn't have any armament. All they had was pitchforks and swords and stuff like this. So they went and they surrounded the courthouses, closing them down. And this was in Massachusetts. Yeah, Massachusetts. And these rebellions happened all over the country at that time. They were called counter-revolutions because the people who had funded the Revolutionary War, which were the wealthy, were levying these high taxes. Excuse me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hugh, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
My bad.
You're okay. Keep going, Axiom.
They were levying these high taxes on just the average Joe like us. We're not wealthy. We don't own all the land they were owning back then, the wealthy people. Mm-hmm. So they stopped Shays' Rebellion. They ended up gunning them down in the streets, is what they did. Killed a couple of them. But they gathered up a militia first, and the militia turned on the debt collectors and joined Shays' Rebellion. Then they hired a private army. But anyway, that got ended, and they went in and they wrote a federal constitution because under the Articles of Confederation, the federal government had less power than the states did.
Mhm.
So they wanted a stronger federal government, and that's what they got. Article 1, Section 8 says that the militia is here to um, carry out the laws of the Union, which means each state, and stop insurrections, rebellions, and invasions. Okay, that's our border patrol stops invasions. The police carry out the laws of the unions, the states. So the police are our militia according to the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8. Um, so that part right there in Article 1, Section 8 makes the Declaration of Independence an illegal document, and specifically the part that was read by someone in here tonight. I didn't exactly catch who read it, but
Mhm. I think
whoever
that was
read it, that
Mayhem.
specific part that he read, Article 1, Section 8 of the federal Constitution, makes it an illegal document because of the part he read. Because it says that we have the right to overthrow a tyrannical government or
Mhm.
whatever. That's not exactly how it's read, worded, but and then the Constitution says that the militia, the police, are here to stop insurrections, rebellions, and uprisings. Every time there's a protest, who stands in between the police and the government? It's, or I'm sorry, in between the people protesting and the government. It's the police. And that's what Article 1, Section 8 says that the militias are supposed to do.
You know what the word police means, right?
Uh,
Policy.
right.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
they
so
uphold
all
the
these
laws of
all
the
these
union.
yeah, well, yeah, all these laws that have been established since the conception of this country are policies. They're actually not
Mhm.
laws. And the
Well,
police are the policy keepers.
okay.
Hey, really fast, hold on one second. Neil, thank you for being here. Redneck, really good to see you. And I'm liking this conversation in the chat. You're saying a lot of the same things I'm wondering too. And that's if the police will stand up and actually understand their jobs.
Well,
Which way
that
will they
is their
go?
job,
You
is to
know?
uphold the laws of the union. That's their job. Whatever the state says is law, that is the police's job. That they
Mhm.
uphold the only people in our government that allegedly, if you want to call this, that work for us are the elected officials, the ones we
Mhm.
elect, like the county sheriff. He would be one that works for us. You could honestly say to him, "You work for me." But the police, they work for the state. The state is a corporation. What's that? Title 28 U.S. Code 3002. The United States means a federal corporation, and that means the states are under them as a corporation. And this is positive law. What they say is voted on by Congress into law. So this is
Mhm.
positive law.
See, my
Um,
town is unincorporated. We have no police. We
excuse
have
me.
my town is unincorporated.
You have no police, just a
We
sheriff.
have no police, just the sheriff.
Yes. There you go. So your police in your county work for you. But the city police, the state police, all others that are not elected, they don't work for the people. They work for the state. And the state is a victim. When they say no victim, no crime, legally, Supreme Court Justice Lewis Powell in Helvering versus Davis, I do believe it was, turned corporations into people. This is positive law too. It means they voted on it. Corporations are now people. So since the state is a corporation under the federal corporation, the state is a legal person.
Right. And
So
can be
when they
sued and
say,
everything else. Yeah.
yes, so when they say no victim, no crime, the state is a victim because it's a person. It legally is how they look at this.
Municipal falls under corporation.
And as far as
You have to
when
be
the
you have to be
Constitution was written,
incorporated to have a municipality.
Yeah,
right.
here, Hura says, we are law-abiding citizens. They go against our Constitution every single day, but we sit back and abide the laws.
No, they are upholding the Constitution. That's what the thing is. They are upholding the Constitution, what the Constitution says. The Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, again, the General Welfare Clause. They've got the right to do to us anything they want and charge us anything they want for it. That is Supreme Court Justice.
I see Devil Dog back in the chat.
What's his name? Garcia.
Yeah.
A corporation.
Benjamin
is a
Garcia.
person-
I'm going to go ahead and
That's
hop down
Overton
so there's
versus
room for
Davis.
Devil Dog to come up.
No, there's
That's
room
Overton
already.
versus Davis.
Yeah.
Oh, there's still room.
Social
Yeah, there's
Security
still
Act.
room. Shit.
D Doug says a corporation is a person, not a people.
But the states united, the corporations united, are people. The
Ugh.
corporations are made up of people.
Oh, he says I can't.
Mike, will you send me that
corporations.
link,
Yeah.
please? So I can get it more easily.
And when the Constitution was written, like we discussed a minute ago, like we said a minute ago, women back then were not even considered people. Okay, so women could not vote.
Thank you, Silver Girl.
Only 6% of Americans could vote in 1789. Okay, there were 3,900,000 people in America, excluding the Indians. Okay, out of that 3,900,000, there were 700,000 slaves. So 6% of 3,200,000 is 18,000 people voted the Constitution in. Okay. And they didn't even vote on it. They just got together and wrote this document and said, okay, this is our land for ourselves and our posterity. It says it in the first paragraph of the Constitution. When they wrote it, only 6%, it was written for 6% of America, period. Okay. And that went on for 30 years until white men over the age of 18 got their right to vote. They were considered people then. And then next of all, I think it was blacks with the 13th Amendment and so on. But when the 14th Amendment come along, it took the people of America and said, okay, everybody can vote now. Everybody's allowed to vote, but you're still our subjects. We still get to charge you and for everything, tax you. And the 14th Amendment turns us from free men to subjects to the state. And they call it the Privileges and Immunity Clause. It's like they're putting out this shiny thing there for us to look at, and they call it the Privileges and Immunity Clause. But it's not. If you read it, it says we are subjects to the state. And something else, Webster's Dictionary was written by our founders. They wrote it so we would be able to understand what's in the Constitution. So although some definitions in Webster's have been changed to mean the same thing, they just word it differently. So you got to think about what they're actually saying. But if you go look at the definition of subject in Webster's Dictionary, not Black's Law Dictionary, because it was written way after the Constitution was written. If you look in Webster's Dictionary at the word subject, and it doesn't matter which you use, adjective, verb, or noun, I think that's what 3 they are. They all mean the same thing, that we belong to them. And the general welfare.
Well, because we've been living under Admiralty law since 1867, and we've been passed around basically like postal packages,
Good
you
night,
know,
Moose. Love
since,
you.
since 1871. And they rewrote part of the Constitution in 1871. It was ratified in 1873. Um, so when I say to people that nobody in America knows what it's like to truly be free because we've been slaves this whole time, is exactly that. No one knows true freedom because of the fact that we've never had it. What we think is freedom is just a combination.
Right. We're living on this plantation. Have you heard the story about when the when the slaves were set free on the plantation? And they said, "Oh, you're free, but it's a hard world out there, and we're not sure if you can make it. You can stay here, and we'll make you part owner of the plantation."
Like indentured servitude.
Yeah, and the slaves were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll be part owner of this plantation." Okay, but now you need to pay room and board. You need to pay for your food. You need to pay for this. You need to pay for that. And at the end of the day, you're making 3 pennies, so you're still a slave.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a better story by someone who's a better storyteller.
No, you're sharing a lot of information. I'm gonna have to come back and re-listen to this, take notes, and start doing some research, which is good.
But the
Yeah.
What?
the conservation officer slash historian in
Mhm.
Massachusetts who tells the story of Shay's rebellion, that's her words when she says, and she is paid by the state, a paid state historian. She says, so in this case, when the Constitution was written, it was written to take away rights.
And that is 100% true statement that Real Queen just said.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
The first black owner or first slave owners in the United States were black slave owners, and the largest number of their slaves were in fact white,
And
Irish and
a
European.
lot of the black
Yeah,
women
or
slave
these
owners,
first names, all right.
they would
Yeah.
So
buy
I
white slaves and marry them so they could vote and own land.
Yeah.
Dragon's Talon, thank you for being here. And Dragon's Talon says, "Where are you getting subject from?" The 14th Amendment says we are citizens in the several states, as in the United States, and it talks about individual rights.
All right,
A
I think I
subject only
actually
has the
have it up right here.
privileges. Yeah, a subject only has the privileges granted to them by their masters.
It says it right there. Give me a second. I'll read it verbatim.
Thank you.
They had those, Jordan.
It's like they tell you that driving a vehicle is a privilege. No, it's not. It's a right. First off, if
Right.
you own that vehicle,
Actually,
Okay.
legally, I'll get into that too if you'd like.
yeah,
But can
You
I read
know.
the 14th? All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction therefore of are citizens of the United States and of the state where they reside,
Okay.
and subject to the jurisdiction therefore of. So
That
you're
doesn't mean that
born
they're
in the United
subject.
States and subject. It doesn't. What does it mean they're
No.
subject to then?
It means that they are when you got to think about how they wrote back in the day. Subject does not mean you are a subject
Yeah,
of this.
I explained that.
You
They
abide
used Webster's dictionary.
by
They didn't
you
use
abide by the
Black's.
jurisdiction of.
Yeah, you are subject to that jurisdiction's laws. You are subject to the state. That's exactly what it says.
Okay.
They use Webster's dictionary. Go look at any definition in
And
Webster's.
I'm looking at Section 8 or
Yeah,
Article
we
1,
actually
Section
even
8.
further back than Webster.
Section 1.
Actually, it's no. See that
Article
comment in
1,
regards
Section
to
8. Okay.
yeah.
Article 1, Section 8. I was reading the
Or,
14th Amendment there.
yeah, but to go back to that, I don't see where it says that it makes the Declaration of Independence minute, because it is talking about
Oh,
collecting taxes and
oh,
money
I'll read it to you,
that's going
man.
to pay.
I'll read it to you.
I'm reading it right here.
Okay, go
I'm reading
down
it
to
right
where
here.
the militias are. Go to
Okay,
where
to
it talks
provide
about the
for
militias.
organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia, and for governing such part of them as may be employed in the service of the United States, reserving to the states, respectively, the appointment of the officers and the authority of the training, the militia, according to the discipline prescribed by Congress.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, to exercise exclusive legislation in all cases
All
whatsoever
right, hold
over
on,
such
man.
district.
You go back then. You didn't. You started too late.
Okay,
It's
to
in there.
provide for calling to
Okay,
provide
there
for
you go.
calling forth the militia to execute the laws of the Union, suppress insurrections, and repel
Right
invasions.
there. Right
Is that
there.
what you're talking about?
Suppress
That's
insurrection.
Section 8. Section 8 is talking about the money that is collected. It
Uh-huh.
says in the beginning, the Congress shall have
Right.
power to lay and collect
Right.
taxes, duties,
For the
and
general
coats, and
welfare.
excise, to
Yes.
pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States.
Right.
But all duties imposed in excess shall be uniform throughout the United States. And then it has a semicolon, which means this is what it falls. This is what it's going to do, and it's talking about to borrow money on the
Good night,
credit
Jerry
of the
Lee.
United States,
Right.
to
On
regulate
the credit of
commerce
me
with
and
the
you.
yeah,
Okay.
to regulate commerce with the foreign nations and among several states, blah blah
Right.
blah.
Nothing wrong with that part.
And it talks about other things like to raise and support armies, but no
Uh-huh. Right.
appropriation of money to that.
More
You
than
shall
2
be for a
years.
longer term than 2 years, to
Right.
provide and maintain a navy, to make
Right.
rules for the government and regulation of the land and naval forces. Then
And
to
this is
provide
we are the
to
world police
provide
next.
for calling forth the militia to
Okay.
execute the laws of the Union, suppress insurrections, and repel invasion. Basically, it's
Right.
saying when Congress calls for the militia to help stop insurrection and also to repel invasions, it is basically saying in
Hey, Blaine.
old context that the taxes will be paid to help fund the militia. It's not saying that it's not saying anything that makes it illegal.
What's an insurrection?
Oh,
What do you think of an
Lordy.
insurrection?
Well, I know what an insurrection is.
Okay, wait.
can you
Let's not
read
say that
part?
word way too many times
Okay.
in a
Right,
row.
All right. Okay.
right.
But
We can get around it. Okay.
yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
for
So we already know that.
uprising.
Okay. Now read the part in the Declaration of Independence that he read earlier.
That I read earlier.
Did you read that? Yes, please.
Yeah,
Read that again.
okay. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with the certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, meaning us, right? That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government.
Okay. Right there. Now, how are you going to abolish or alter a government? How are you going to do that? Are you going to go up there with a big group of people and say we abolish you? Even if one state full of people does that and says we abolish you, do you think that the federal government is not going to say that's an insurrection? And them aren't my words. Those are the words of state historians. And I can show you that where
And that's
the
your key
state
word right there, the
historian
state
says that.
historians, people that are paid by the state to say, hey, this is what it means. There's factually other people that are historians that aren't paid by
Dude,
the
it was
state that
written
read.
because you didn't hear my whole shtick there. It was written because Shays' Rebellion was using the Declaration of Independence to get out of paying 3 to 4 times higher taxes than the king was charging them. That's why that's why the Constitution was written. That's why they trashed the Articles of Confederation. Is because of Shays' Rebellion, the Great Whiskey Rebellion, and there was a few others. Every state had their own rebellion. Counter-revolution is what they were called back then, because these wealthy people were throwing down on the people like you and me, demanding they had to give them most of Boston, man. The people ended up giving all these wealthy people the most of Boston. Okay. And we weren't considered people back then either. We already went through that, man. Women weren't considered people. Only 6% of America were considered people back then. Only people could vote in America, and only 6% of Americans voted back then.
So what? Okay, so with where you are on everything, what do you guys think we do moving forward? How do we, you know, what
I
actions
don't
can we
know.
take?
I would like to. I would like to live in America that the propaganda tells us that we should have. That would be wonderful for all of us, wouldn't it? You know, where we got our rights and the government was ran for us and we were living like they lived back in the 50s or whatever time period is in your mind that was the best time in American history. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
want that just like everybody else does. I'm no communist. I'm no socialist. I'm no fascist. I'm an American who wants to be free. But people were always asking these words. Well, how do they think they can get away with it? Why are they getting away with it? This and that. And and then I always said the same thing that this guy said. I always defended all of that for years here on YouTube. Okay. And then I read the 14th Amendment. I understood it for what it says. And I read Article 1, Section 8 and understood it for what it says. And they're not talking in fancy lawyer talk when they wrote all of that. They wrote it so we could understand it. And they put out Webster Dictionary. They wrote it. They put it out so we could understand it.
But isn't there certain statutes like put in place so the people can fight back against the government?
It's all called an insurrection, man. I mean, look what happened on July 6th. Does anybody really think that was something real? That they were honestly going in there to overthrow the government, all 100 of them people,
Right.
or 200 of them, whatever.
Right.
But it was called an insurrection. Could you imagine what would happen if it really happened? Just when Texas threatens to back out of the Union, they talk war with Texas, And look, the South lived under the Articles of Confederation until the 14th Amendment, until the Civil War. That's why they were called the Confederacy, because they lived under the Articles of Confederation. And look, only 1% of the South owned slaves. All the rest of them people down there didn't own slaves. Only 1% did. And I don't know, 10% of that 1% or 0.10% of them were actually white people. You know, I don't know. It was a very low number, you know, but I mean, it's just all the propaganda. We think that the Articles of Confederation are bad because it's tied in with the Confederacy, and then people were all racist and hated everybody, and the Confederacy's bad. Well, why would you want to push that? You know, especially, you know, that's what it's always been pushed. The it's always been a federal takeover here in America. That's what the Revolutionary War, the Counter-Revolutionary War, and the federal takeover. And in Article 1, Section 8, if you keep on reading a little bit, it says that America is supposed to define, what is it? Define felonies for the laws of nation. Okay, so we are the world police according to the Constitution. Also, that's the next paragraph he was getting to.
In Section 8.
Yes, we are to define and punish laws against the law of nations, or felons. Sorry, we are defined and punish felons against the law of nations. So, I mean,
just to address, sorry guys, just to address something happening in chat, you guys, let's just calm down on timing people out. That really doesn't need to be happening for that conversation. Thanks everybody. Like we said, sometimes we just have to let little things go, right? So sorry to end kind of on that note, but I actually need to be ending this pretty soon. And I know Eddie had come up and wanted to get to sing and play for a little bit. And I'd really love to hear that. And I feel like it'd be a good kind of way to end this on a, just kind of a calm note. But I really appreciate everybody coming up and having the conversations. There's a lot that I have to learn, and I think that's probably true for a lot of us,
Mhm.
So, even though I can't always give an opinion or take a side, so to speak, I really appreciate that you guys are up here and having these debates and conversations and are able to, question each other. And, I do plan to come back and re-listen to this and take some notes down of things I need to go and look up and do some research on. So I hope I'm not the only one who's learning a lot from this. Thank you.
you can check it out on my channel. I've got all them videos.
Great. Yeah, I will.
And I'll say one more thing, please, and then I'll bail. Thanks for letting me come up and explain my point of view. My intention was not to do anything nefarious or to poke at anybody or anything like that, just to enlighten and put a different perspective on, what we perceive our country to be about and what it's actually about. Because we were lied to all through school, and we still push the same grade school propaganda. I know I did it till about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, till I learned better. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming up, Axiom.
Yeah.
And
Nice to meet you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's a lot we all have to learn. I'm glad we're here together and asking these questions,
Yep. And really
Nikki?
listening to each other.
Yeah. Nikki, good to see you. Good to see you, beautiful T.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for coming in. Eddie, are you up for playing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Eddie, do you want to tell us anything first about your channel or like what you're up to these days with music? I think most people in here know you, but some might not.
Yeah. Well, basically, like what I'm about is just making people feel good, and like I'm like playing music, giving movie reviews, giving like I have a few collectibles there that I show and tell. I do paranormal adventures as well, and I do the odd gaming from time to time, and that's basically all my channel is about.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, your
Anything
music
and everything,
too.
basically.
Steve Harloa did an interview with Eddie. What was it, like 2 weeks ago, Eddie?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
part 2 is coming up next month. So
Okay. Oh, that's great. I love that there's going to be a part 2. But a lot of you guys know Steve, and if you want to go check out that interview, you'll get to learn a lot about Eddie too. So,
yeah,
all right.
he didn't really have much time to play around. So that's why he's doing a part 2. Like he had to.
Yeah, they were heading on vacation, I think, right?
Yeah, they were
Mhm.
counting on not the main islands. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll start playing. So
Yeah, don't worry about that, Hura. You're good. Yeah, what's the first song you're going to play for us?
yeah, I'm gonna play. It's just fitting to the subject that we were discussing, and this just a 4th song, and then yeah, I can do something like soon after, but
Yeah. If you want to just go right from one song to another and do like maybe 2 or 3, that works too. Whichever way you want to do it, or talk in between.
yeah, let's go. I'll just get the other 2 up.
Thanks, V, for coming up. Appreciate it. And Hawk, thank you to you too for coming up. They said they're
Yeah,
going to
I'm
be
gonna
down in
hop
chat.
down too.
Okay.
I'm down too. I
Mayhem,
gotta
thank you
get
so
ready
much.
for bed.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It was great to have
Yeah,
you up
thanks
on
for having
panel.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I know you sing and stuff too. If you ever want to come up and sing, let me know.
Okay, I will.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right, so the 4th one is called "Traveling Soldier,"
Okay.
and goes a little something like this. 2 days past 18, he was waiting on a bus in an army green, sat down in a booth. In the El Cafe there gave his order to a girl with a bow in her hair. He's a little shy, so she gave him a smile. He said I wouldn't mind sitting down for a while and talking to me. I'm feeling a little low. She said I'm off in an hour and I know where a place we can go. So I went down and they sat on the pier. He said, bet you got a great boyfriend, I don't care, 'cause I got no one to send a letter to. Would you mind if I send one back here to you? I cry, never gonna hold the hand of another guy. Too young for him, they told her, waiting for the love of a traveling soldier. Our love never end, waiting for the soldier to come back again. Never more to be alone. And the letter says, a soldier's coming home. So the letter came from an army camp in California, then Vietnam. And he told her of his heart, how he might be loving all those things he's so scared of. He said, when it's getting kind of rough over here, I sit and think about the day on the pier. and I close my eyes and see a pretty smile. Don't worry, I won't be able to ride for a while. I cry, never gonna hold the hand of another guy. Too young for him, they told her, waiting for the love of a traveling soldier. Our love never ran, waiting for the soldier to come back again. Never more to be alone when the letter said, a soldier's coming home. One Friday night at a football game, the Lord's Prayer said and the anthem sang, and the man said, folks, would you bow your head for a little local man dead? Lying all alone underneath the stand was a piccolo player in a marching band, and one named Red, and nobody really cared. Said that pretty girl with a bow in her hair. I cried, never gonna hold the hand of another guy. Too young for him, they told her, waiting for the love of a traveling soldier. Our love never ran, waiting for the soldier to come back again. Never more to be alone when the letter said, the soldier's coming home. When the letter said, the soldier's coming home.
Beautiful, Eddie. I love that song. That's one of the first
Yeah.
country songs I ever admitted to myself that I liked. Steve is backstage. Steve, thank you for coming up. How's it going? Oh, you're muted, Steve. I saw him. He showed his face on back there, so I know it's him. But I don't know what's going on with his mic, maybe. I know he'd wanted to come up too. That's all right. Maybe you got a call or something. Eddie, what's the song you're going to play next?
Yeah, it's a little song from what was it? Green Day. It's called Good Riddance.
Ooh, yay.
Eddie, did we just become
right.
best friends?
There he is. Hey, Steve.
Yep.
How's it going?
I love Green Day.
What's happening?
All right.
Say,
We'll
what the fuck?
No,
yeah, go
sorry,
ahead. And
I keep
play.
muting.
Go ahead
I'm
and
not
play,
trying
Eddie,
to
and
cut
we'll talk
anyone
after.
off, so I'm not. Okay. Okay.
That's good.
All right. Go ahead, Eddie.
All right. Another turn upon a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where you go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, or in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on the shelf and in good time, health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth it all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life.
That's another song I've always liked. Thank you, Eddie.
Eddie, are you ever going to let me down?
No.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you. Eddie
Thanks,
nails
Mike.
it every
He dropped the
time.
link
It's
to
so
the
good.
interview, the first part. Yeah, I know. Yep. Yeah. Would you want to play one of your originals for us, Eddie?
Yeah, sure. I had something there that not nobody has heard, but yeah, we'll do.
Oh, yeah, go for it. Oh,
We'll do,
Axiom. I didn't know that.
we'll do the original. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good night. Good night. Look at the moon shine so bright, and tonight he smiles, especially for you. Sleep tight, sleep tight. Know everything is alright, and tonight I will be here watching over you. For tonight I will be here watching over you. Oh, tonight I'll be here watching over you. Sweet dreams, sweet dreams. It is never as real as it seems. And in the morning when you waken, I will be right here. Sleep on, sleep For no matter how dark or how long it may seem that your night is, I will still be here. I will still be here watching over you. So sleep, little darling, sleep on through. So be still, for you know that I always will. Oh, tonight and forever, be watching over you. For tonight and forever, be watching over you. So sleep, little darling, sleep on through. I will be watching over you.
I was so glad you picked that one. That's my favorite. I know it's Hoot's favorite, and I bet there's others who have that as a favorite too, Eddie. Such a beautiful
I'd be
song.
one of them. I'm definitely one of them.
Yep. Yeah, thank you so much for playing. Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here and for hanging out and for participating in our conversations. And I just appreciate all of you so much. I hate to have to end things because I feel, I could feel like I could talk forever and hang out with you guys, obviously, always. But I
Yes,
do have to get going.
don't pull a Steve Harloha and go 6 hours and have to end it right at 6 hours.
Yeah. Well, I've done that, but I can't do that tonight.
No, it's not
So-
fun. It's a lot of work. A lot of work. But no, I'm
No,
just
if I had
glad I
the
got here
time.
in time to say hi because I just want you to know, Indy, how much I love you. Me and Nina love you so much, and you're awesome. And
Aw, thank
Bonnie's and
you.
Eddie and everyone that was on panel tonight too. Mayhem,
Mhm.
Hawk, Axiom, Hawk, everyone. You guys just rock. And
Yeah.
I'm just glad I
we
got here in
have-
time to let you know that.
Thank you,
So
Steve.
do
And
you,
please
Steve.
pass on my love to Nina. You know how much I love her and love you too. And I love all you guys. You guys know. We have so many great people here, and I'm just really thankful for this silver lining in the midst of it all,
Absolutely. And we're going to get all mushy now.
Yeah, I
Love
know. That's what happened.
Love everybody.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you
Bonnie,
so
you have a
much.
live stream. You have a live stream tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully, if everything stays normal.
Yeah. Right. Well, hopefully I'll be able to be there and catch that too, Bonnie. And
I would
I
love
know, yeah, I know I'll see everybody around somewhere on the YouTube streets. So I hope you guys all have a great night and much love, and I'll see you soon. Good night, everybody.
Oh, Dee.
Oh no. Yep. Sorry, Dee. Yeah. Love you too, Dee. All right. Good night, everybody.
Night, y'all.